And good day, everyone, and welcome to week 41 of the High Roller Super Millions, where it is time for our pre-show where Nanonoko just rolled out of his bed in Australia, and now we can talk about final table betting for the upcoming 10 minutes, because obviously in 10 minutes it closes, then you can no longer place your bets. So let's not waste any time, and let's just go ahead and bring up the list of the 9 players that have made it to the final table and take a look at their odds. And I know you're going to be excited, Nanonoko, because your man is back, and he's back on top.
Yeah, let's take a look at those odds real quick. But this is free money, Roddy. It really is free money for final table betting. Look who's on top. It's Michael Addamo, 6.4 million in chips. He's got over 50% more chips than Thomas Mühlacker, who's in second place. This guy, we know he's aggressive. We know he wins tournaments regularly. He's won the Super Million 3 times. It's really an easy way to get 2.75 back on your money, right? If you put down $100, you get how much do you get? $175 back?
Yeah, well, 175 profit. You get 275 back.
Yeah, it's free money. It's a great way to double your bankroll, more than double your bankroll, in my opinion, Roddy. I don't know. Okay, before we move on, where's your bets today, Roddy?
All right, I actually put a little bit of money on Thomas Mühlacker. He comes in second, over 4 million chips. Like, we know that's more than enough to win. Like, you can have that in heads up and you have a good shot at winning. We've seen that a couple of times. And I also feel like last time he made it to our final table, he looked really good until he just had a monster flip, right? It was Jacks against Ace King offsuit, if I recall correctly. He lost that one. If he wouldn't have lost that one, I actually think there's a very good chance he would have won it. And the odds for Thomas are quite a bit better than they are for Michael Addamo. On top of that, I already know what's going to happen. Michael Addamo is going to win one little pot. It's going to be at 7.2 million. And I can already hear that voice of yours in my ears like, well, I think this is it. Michael Addamo, there's no way for him to lose this tournament. And we all know when you say those magical words, Nanonoko, it takes roughly 85 seconds for a player to lose half of his stack, if not more than that. So I put some on Thomas. And then also, I mean, we can take a look at the other players that made it to this final table too, because we've got a proper lineup tonight. Finally, I think one of the biggest names in poker is back, Isaac Haxton. He comes in with a little short of 1 million chips, so it's obviously not a monster stack. But the last time Isaac Haxton made it to a final table, he also came in with a tiny stack, and he dominated that. It's a long time ago, but I'm very happy to have Isaac back.
Did you put money on Isaac today?
Yeah, a little bit, you know, a little fun bet, because the odds are super good. I actually don't know what I put down, but maybe like 15 bucks or something.
Do you have half the table or just 2 guys?
No. 3 guys. We put a little bit on Connor Drinan too, because the odds are so freaking big today. You don't need to bet a lot to win a lot. But basically, one serious bet, Thomas Mühlacker, and then hopefully Isaac or Connor Drinan can run it up. So I can just get a nice little heads up going between Thomas and one of those guys. You know what I mean?
Wait, but you didn't put a single dollar on Michael Addamo?
Not one, because I know you're going to curse him. I believe in the Nanonoko curse. It's so real.
He's got 1.2 million chips. It's about, I think he has 120 big blinds roughly, Roddy. That's a lot of big blinds for a guy who will use them correctly. You do agree that his chances of winning are very high, though?
I believe, like, if you look at those odds, sure, but if you take the Nanonoko curse into consideration, then all of a sudden, what does this really mean? I have the feeling he's going to blast off 3.5 million in the first 30 minutes, and then it's anybody's game, Nano.
Oh, man. Well, you did say it before. I believe it was in the one of our special GG ones that we happened recently, where it was even bigger prizes, like 1 million for first. You felt you didn't know many of the names, but you thought that the top guys were going to be able to get it done just because, you know, there's a lot of pressure. And I think that was the one that Ben Ward eventually won. I think in this spot, we've got a very big chip leader here, Michael Addamo, who, when you set that situation, you felt like they were going to win more chips than normal just because people are going to fold even more. I think with Michael Addamo's big stack, he's going to make Thomas Muhlacher, Dr. Mikey, Jalbert play a lot tighter, I think. I think he's going to be 3-betting them. They're going to have to tighten their ranges. Unless they want to put resistance, that's when they can get Michael Addamo back. So that'll be quite interesting seeing if they actually will do that today. Thomas Muhlacher, he was actually, the last time we watched him, it was very impressive. I thought he played really well. I remember him really going, it was in the big, one of the big GG1 tournaments too. I think the one with, it was maybe the one with Ben Ward at that
Yeah, he lost all his chips to Ben Ward.
Oh, or it was.
Ace King.
It was Ace King to Queens, I think, exactly.
Oh, yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, but you're right. And Thomas Muhlacher was not scared. He did bust out before other guys, but he also made a play against Saquon where he went with the 2 9s. I remember it was a 3-bet pot. It was a bet, and he still went with it, and he won a lot of chips. So I do think that the top 2 guys have a very good chance of taking this one down. A little bit more biased towards Addamo because he's got 50% more chips and of his caliber. But I do think that Muhlacher, there is a chance that he will put a resistance against Michael Addamo and, you know, create a chip lead himself. And at 4.75 versus a 2.75, you know, it's a mighty good bet, Roddy. Like, you had to have bet on one of the top 2 guys. If you didn't bet on one of the top 2 guys, you lost your money already. You might as well just flush it down the toilet. But I do actually like your other 2 little bets. I do like that you put some money on Isaac Haxton, Connor Drinan. Now, of course, these guys are quite short, but they have the skill set, if they get a little double up here and there, to really just take it down and go for that win. So I do think those bets are pretty good. And I feel like it's a little bit disrespectful to our bottom guy, Chris Pertz here. You know, like, he's a real name pro here, but he's got more chips than Connor and Isaac. Yeah, we're going to give him the best odds for you to win. Maybe just because I don't think he's reached our final table before,
Nope.
if I recall correctly. So I'm going to guess that's one of the main reasons. And also why only $123 have been bet on him. Like, this is a star-studded field today. And only one unknown real name player here, Dr. Mikey. I have no idea who that is, but he's got 2.4 million chips. I believe he's satellite in, so it's not one of those bets I'd be very confident in.
Now, you are correct. That's actually his first Super Millions, by the way, of Dr. Mikey. He has never played in a high roller Super Millions before. We'll cover more of that soon. Chris has indeed never made it to a final table. The other 7 have, so Dr. Mikey and Chris are our new faces. I kind of like it. I have the feeling we're going to get a pretty good showing, and I am ready for the Michael Addamo show, because obviously I know Nano, he is going to raise, and he is going to put especially the other guys that have decent amount of chips in some very tough spots. And I believe they always say that if you play with fire, eventually you get burned. And I mean, Michael Addamo plays with a lot of fire, even at these final tables, right? Like, he's ready to come in. He probably put his alarm clock, and he's like, you know what? I hope we're done with this in 2 hours and 10 minutes. You know, just hand it over to me. You know, normally it would have been a very fun little storyline where Michael Addamo needs to win. Let me just double check that. He needed to win like 50 or 60K more than he's won so far. Then he would retake the lead over Nicholas Estat. But I think it's safe to say that that's going to happen unless we truly witness the blow up of the century. So that's kind of cool as well to follow this little battle between Nicholas and Michael has been going on. You know what's crazy, by the way, is that 8 out of 9 players made it to their final table on their first bullet, Nano. None of this rebuying nonsense, no second entry, no third entry. 8 out of 9 made it on their first bullet, and only Thomas Muhlacher bought in twice, which is not even crazy, right? Because very often we have people making it to the final table on their 4th or even their 5th bullet, and we're like, well, he needs to lather up to make his money back. That's honestly kind of unique. I feel like we don't see that very often.
Yeah, I mean, I guess these guys wanted to hold on. They just ran good. I do believe that the average buy-in for a player in this tournament is probably about 2 bullets on average. Obviously, some guys in for more, some guys in for 1. But I'm surprised Michael Addamo's not in for more. But I believe last week he was in for at least 4. So, you know, sometimes those magical bullets, you get it done on the first one.
Yep, and I have the feeling that Michael Addamo probably tilted some of the other guys in the field, feeling that they can get those chips back, because we saw a couple of very familiar names. I don't know if we need to go on the record, but 2 familiar faces to our final table with 7 bullets this week.
I know who exactly. No, we can say it, Roddy. I mean, we saw Arthur and the European. They fired in 7 bullets. I was looking at that lobby too, Roddy, and I saw that. But you know, they're still profiting in the Super Millions, so no big deal. 7 bullets, it happens. No big. But I think final table at betting is closing real soon. So just put the rest of your bankroll on Michael Addamo while you can. It's free money.
Yes, you guys basically have around 10 seconds left to put that money on Michael Addamo, and then final table betting will be closed. I knew that was going to be your speech, so I feel like this time I wasn't even going to ask you. You've got $100, Nananoko, because I know you're going to put $100 on Michael Addamo. All right,
Roddy,
guys. Yes?
I find another $100 and put it on Michael Addamo. That's what I do.
You borrow 100 as well. It's like, I already made a bet, but I need to double down on my bet. Anyway, it's too late right now. Randy, you should have found it before. Final table betting is closed, which means we are now 30 minutes away from witnessing these dudes actually play some poker. You guys obviously know the drill by now. We're going to have a little chitty chat. We'll go over the profiles. We'll take a look at some of the hands they had on their journey to the final table in week 41. It's been a lot of weeks of poker. We're still waiting for Pocket Fours to make a set. They've only made quads when Ben CB folded, and other than that, they never make a set at these final tables. But I'm sure it's going to be a good week, Nano. I'm excited for it. How was your week? Did you see anything interesting in the world of online poker?
I mean, I do want to touch a little bit more base on before this final table is reached. It was actually a star-studded lineup. I actually was kind of railing a little bit when there's 2 tables left. In the last 3 or 4 guys that busted out, David Yan actually final table bubbled this tournament. He bubbled to Michael Addamo. He made a move, I think, with pocket 4s or 5s. It was one of those little pairs, right? He was just like, man, this guy, I know he's raising the 2 cards. He ran into the 2 jacks. But it was also Ole Shemion, Lena 900. There might have been someone else, but those 3 guys were at the, like 10, 11, 12. And so this could have been an even cooler final table. But basically all those chips are in the hands of our chip leader right now. But I thought it was a very fun tournament. I think this is going to be this could potentially be one of our quickest ones, Roddy. It could be, if Michael Addamo gets things done the way he likes to get it done. Or it could be long, if he disperses all his chips to everyone else and everyone's like, okay, we can play some normal poker.
I love that you just said that, Nananoko, because let me enter you into a meme that we have going on in the StarCraft world, where one of the most famous commentators, he's really funny, but he says a lot of silly things every now and then. And one of the things that he started saying, and all of his colleagues, so basically guys like me, we started picking up on it. It's like, well, it could be a long game, but it could be a short game. I'm like, what are you telling us? You're not telling us anything. Like, yeah, it could be long, and it could be short. It could be in the middle. You know, who knows? So, Nananoko, you could be a StarCraft 2 commentator with comments like that, and I love it.
But yeah, how about you? Have you been playing some poker? Are you running it up? What's going on?
Running it up, not so much. I did play a little bit of poker last week, had a couple little streams, but I gotta say 3 out of my last 4 streams have just been absolutely brutal. I had a really cool run in one of my favorite tournaments, which is like the 315 Bounty King, and especially on Sundays, right? Like, you know how it goes on Sundays. The fields of all the regular tournaments became a lot bigger. I had a really good little start, and every now and then you just have a weird situation at the poker table online, and it's like, this dude thinks it's personal, but I'm like, this is not personal, you know? Like, I've had ace queen suited, I had over 55 bigs, I'm big blind, he's small blind. But every time I 3-bet him, I actually had it. But I have the feeling that he thought I was making a move on him because he was the biggest stack at the table. But we're like 50 spots away from the money. I've got a monster stack compared to the rest of the table. Besides this guy, he raises me from the small blinds like 2.5x. I've got ace queen suited. I make it 8. And he just like 4-bets me to like 19, which is so silly because the rest of the table has big bounties. Everyone has like 8, 9, 10, 11 big blinds, you know, and he's battling with me, and I'm like, I've got ace queen suited, you know. I'm like, whatever, I go all in, and he's like, nice hand, and he calls with 10-7 offsuit, spikes the 10, and I'm out like 20 spots before the money, all these juicy bounties. I was so mad. I was like, what are you doing? You know, like, he really thought that like I was never gonna call because I was just playing back at him. I'm like, no, I actually have it, mate. So that was my tilt moment of the week, and I was very bummed out because I just started my stream. You know, I was telling people we've got a good stack in the 315, You know how it goes. It's pretty brutal when that happens.
Wow, no, I didn't actually expect you to say 10-7 offsuit. I was like, oh, he just actually finally woke up with aces or kings or
No.
something. He said 10-7 offsuit. Brilliant. And it was a 315 as well? Jesus,
Yeah,
Rod, you're
no,
brutal.
close before basically registration closes, like 8 minutes, and the bounties were getting juicy, you know, like people with 400, 500, $600 bounties because the field was big, and yeah, he has 70 big blinds, and I've got 58. Yeah, I don't know. I was like,
Roddy,
man, why are you doing this?
did, did, did you check what place he got after and how much bounties
No,
collected?
no, no, mate.
You should have.
I rage quitted the client. Like I didn't want to see it. After that hand, he was probably chip leading the entire tournament. Because even I was like ranked 20 or something, or 28. I was so pissed. Oh well, you know, it is what it is. That was basically my week of poker. Other than that, just a couple little turbos. But my StarCraft stuff is done now, so I can actually finally focus a little more on poker. And I'm actually really excited to put in some hours, maybe donate a little bit to the regular Omaha grinders out at the GG network. I've made a lot of friends, Nanonoko. They like me. When they see me, I get hellos. It's a bad sign, I know it, but it's all good. All right,
Well,
let's
go.
yeah, let's actually kick off this pre-show, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the beautiful profile of the man who came in as, or who comes in as chip leader tonight. Week 41 of the High Roller Super Millions. Michael Addamo. I mean, profiles don't get any prettier than this. Not only is he a pretty man and is he crushing everything that he plays in, but look at that bottom right, Nanonoko. The only guy in this entire field and obviously in the history of the High Roller Super Millions to win this tournament 3 times, and he's trying to make it to number 4 before anybody else has made it to number 3.
Yeah, it's mighty impressive. These are, you know, the very first 3 times he won it. Was almost like very early in our super. In the first 10 times he ran Super Millions, he won
11,
it 3
I
times.
think. 11.
It was a very low number. But he did reach 3 more final tables after that. Didn't do as well in them, but he still got pretty good scores if I recall correctly. 2 other times, this one being the 6th final table. I think he got maybe a 3rd and like a 4th or 5th. You know, like he didn't get like the 9th or 8th. He always came to the final table in a position to get far. I don't know. He just always does it, even with a short stack. I don't know how he does it, but he's just so aggressive. It's gonna be fun to watch. All the regs know him. I do believe they changed their style to play against him a little bit, just because, you know, he's Michael Addamo. So I'm curious to see what happens today.
Let's take a look at one of the hands that Michael Addamo had on his journey to becoming the chip leader on his first bullet. And I think when you look at a hand like this, you're like, would Ole Shemion play his hand in the same way against everyone else? I have the feeling it's just that Michael Addamo factor, right? That allows him to take it all here from Ole.
Exactly. I do not think this hand is standard at all. This is really the Michael Addamo factor. You know, we know he's aggressive. We know he's capable of barreling off. And this board is actually quite hard to get paid off for a bet jam by worse. You know, the ace king. It's ace 10-10. If the flush gets there, the trip 10s is obvious. You know, like a lot of guys, they probably just fold the river bet. But Addamo knows his image. Sure, sometimes he does his plays and he value owns himself. We've seen that happen before. But he's one of the few guys who can actually get. I know he's got top pair, top kicker, but it's kind of a scary board to go for the triple because a lot of guys just kind of fold the ace rag too. They just call you if a 10 or better. But it's very well done. Shemion, like, first of all, if you look at this hand, he calls the 3-bet ace 2 suited. You know, it's not the easiest hand to play. A lot of guys just fold this too. You know, and he just calls down with just top pair, no kicker, hoping his opponent has like a king jack offsuit, a king queen. Hell, it could be like even an 8-7 suited where that isn't a flush. It's a bold play, and he was wrong, and this is what happens, and this is how Addamo becomes massive chip leaders, because people just don't believe.
Yep, exactly. The Michael Addamo factor, I think that summons it all up, and I'm sure we'll see some more of that tonight. Let's take a look at the man who is chasing Michael Addamo. He comes in second. We had him at our final table a couple weeks ago. And it is Thomas Mulliker. And you said it already in our pre-show, and I said it too. Even before you, Nano, you repeated me. That he left a very good impression on us. He was playing solid. We even thought that he was perhaps playing the best out of everyone at that final table. You guys can see it in the bottom right, March 8th that was. Just got unlucky. He was not afraid to get it all in with, you said it was queens. I thought it was jacks, but it was just one of these button against small blind scenarios. Both of them having a big stack. Unfortunately, there was an ace or a king on the flop, whatever it was. And that was the end. But this guy is good, isn't he?
Yeah, part of team NLG, No Limit Gaming. Before that big score on March 8th for 360k, you gotta remember, look, he got 366k for 7th place. Man, if he had held with that, Ben Ward would not be the one with $1 million. It could easily be Thomas Mühlacker. But before that tournament happened, he wasn't winning at the Super Millions yet, but I know he's a big pressure, and that happens for some of these guys. You know, not everyone's going to be able to be up $1 million, right? Because someone's got to lose some money, but Mühlacker was out, and now he's clearly in the profit. He's going to be even more in the profit coming in 2nd place. Brilliant player. I think he's got the best chance of fighting against Michael Addamo, and I love what he did in that big Super Millions in the 10K. He resisted, and he went for the win. He's not going to give up any easy spots. I think he's going to be a tough one to beat too.
Let's take a look at one of the hands that Thomas Mühlacker had, which is actually a pretty wild one. So I'm just going to sit back and leave this one to you. Nanoko, it's obviously a bit of a setup, but yeah, what do you see?
I see why Chris Pertz is near the bottom of the chip count, right? Like, he's got pocket aces, gets done in by the queen 3 suited. But from an analysis point of view, I would say pre-flop and flop, pretty standard. You're going to check out that little small bet. The turns where things gets a little bit interesting, the top card pairs. And, this is quite a common move. You'll see when the board pairs, the big blind will start leading about 25% pot, or maybe even less. They feel like it pairs them a bit. You'll see it even more often though when the 9 or the 4 pairs, because the continuation better, sometimes they don't see bet, nothing but top pair or better, or air. So it improves their range more. The queen's a little interesting one to still go for the lead, but he still does it. And Chris Pertz knows that a lot of guys lead when the board pairs for like a 25% pot bet. It's like, well, 2 aces is going to be crushing a leading range. I want to charge those flush draws. I want to charge those straight draws, those 9x type hands. So he does raise the turn and gets called in. At that point, it's actually kind of tricky. You're not sure if you're up against a queen. You're not sure if you're up against a straight draw or a flush draw or a 9. But Chris decides that he still thinks that he can get called by worse. This is actually very far in the tournament. The final 2 tables, near the bubble, right? Near the final table bubble, I mean. And he still goes for the value bet with the 2 aces. I'm not necessarily in love with this play unless he thought Mühlacker would still call him with a 9, and a 9 was a large part of his range. Because I do think that when Mühlacker does his little bet call, he's got all of the queens. He's also got a lot of straight draws and flush draws that obviously can't call a river bet. Not in love with the river bet, but I can see the logic behind it. For Mühlacker's point of view, it's like, well, thank you for the chips.
No, like, I really thought this hand got a bit wild at the turn and the river. I can understand that Thomas Mühlacker maybe leads out. Aces are awesome, but on the other hand, when people start betting into you on a paired board in the big blind where they can potentially have any 2, right? It's like, ooh, I don't know if I would even raise that deep into the tournament, and then to go for such a massive value bet. It's almost a bit greedy, I feel like, on the river. I think it was unnecessary. Yeah. Like, the raise on the turn, if you really feel good about it, sure. Obviously, there's a lot of draws on that board, and I can get it. But I don't think we had to raise the aces on the river. But, oh, well. Worked out for Thomas, and he comes in with a lot of chips, over 4 million. So let's take a look at the profile of one of the 2 unknown players that has made it to our final table tonight. This guy, Dr. Mikey, has won a $250 mega satellite into this event, and then obviously on his first bullet made it all the way to the final table. His very first time playing a 10K, and he's sitting here in Anoka and he's like, I don't get the big deal out of these 10Ks, was it really that hard? Arthur, European, I don't think it's all that hard. He gets it done. What a run.
Roddy, the European and Arthur were in for $70,000 in this tournament. This guy's in for $250, right? Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, that's a very big difference. Well, let's take a look at what he plays. He plays $200 tournaments regularly, $100 tournaments. This is clearly a big moment for him. He would not have played if he had not satellited in. He wouldn't even enter a 1K satellite, in my opinion. So it's safe to say that this guy, He's probably going to be playing a little bit more snug. These pay jumps are going to be huge. Every pay jump's like winning a tournament or even more, obviously.
Winning many tournaments, Nananoko.
Yeah.
Winning many tournaments.
But you know, we sometimes these guys they have the different approach. They're like, you know what? I've made so much money already. Let's just put on a show. Let's make some moves here and there. They go a little random. But I'll say if there's one thing in his favor that maybe he won't play like a nit. He's from Uruguay. The Uruguay players are the craziest, Roddy. There's one guy who's really well known from Uruguay. He's like just the most aggressive player. He was actually in one of the, not one of the shows with you, but I think it was the APT or one of those other small ones. And he was at one of the main event final tables. And he was ridiculous crazy. I'm not saying this guy's going to play like that, but I tell you, everyone from Uruguay is a very strong and crazy player.
Let's take a look at one of the hands that Dr. Mikey had on his journey to his very first final table. You know what, Nano? If I would normally play, and I actually do play, I've played with this guy in some of the 210 turbos, the one that you saw in his profile. I like those too. This is kind of how I would play my hands as well, you know? It's like, all right, you raise, you call, you check, even you flop a set, or maybe you just lead out immediately. And then it's like just bam, jam all in. And it's like, all right, I get called, and like, we'll see what happens. And well, fortunately for him, his opponent didn't have a very random 9-7 or a queen 9, but yeah, this is kind of what you expect, right? It's just like, all right, all in.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It's not. I wouldn't say it's the prettiest way to play the hand. It's simple though. Like you know, when you play your hand this way, you look a little fishy in the sense that I think some of the pros, a lot of times they put you on a draw. Or they put you on like top pair, like a, you know, like a club draw.
King jack,
yeah,
ace jack.
Just kind of like the simplest way to play it. So I know Landon did have two aces. He did slow play his hand, and you know, obviously he's going to stack off in the way that this hand is played. But I think he would pay him off with worse. I think he would pay him off with like an ace jack, maybe a king jack here and there. I'm just thinking, you know, like, I've already invested too much in this pot, let's just go for it. So Dr. Mikey with his very, very fast play of the 210s, it's quite tricky too to check that set on the flop.
This is how we do it in the 210 streets in Nananoko, and nobody can tell us otherwise, okay? It's very normal to see pots go from 3 big blinds to 8 to 48 to 96. That's how we do it.
With 10-7 offsuit.
Yeah, I mean, damn it. Don't even remind me. I'm still tilted. All right, guys, moving on. Next up is a man that we haven't mentioned once tonight. And if you guys wonder why is there no respect for him? That's because I said this man, he's dead to me, Nananoko. We put some money on him, and he wasn't playing for the win. He was playing for play jumps on February 28th. Obviously, we're memeing a little bit. João Vieira, he's back, a very solid player. He's leading the all-time money list from Portugal. But we can also say he's a little conservative. Is that fair?
Yeah, well, see, the thing is, João understands ICM very well, and obviously, I've been mentioning this to you before, is that when you do that, you pass up a lot of spots that might potentially win you the tournament, but maybe from a money point of view, that's the way to make you the most money. And, you know, he plays... I wouldn't have put money on him to win the final table in this position. He is coming in fourth, 40 big blinds. It's a good stack, don't get me wrong. But he's got Michael Addamo up there at the top, who's going to handcuff him even more. He was really tight the last time we saw him at the final table because of, you know, like he wants those pay jumps. So I think he's a phenomenal player. He's a great player. He's done pretty good in the Super Millions, you can see here. He's got a lot of cashes, so I'm guessing he might be up a little bit. Well, especially after this tournament, he's going to be up some money. Yeah,
he's
a
actually
great
doing pretty good already.
Yeah, he's a great player, but you know, like, is he going to win it today? I don't know, but he needs to do what's best for him and play his game, Roddy.
I'll take a look. Yeah, no, it's very close, but it's obviously been pretty good, and I think after tonight he should absolutely be in the plus. Don't forget, single entry for this man too. It is cool to have him back. We can take a look at one of the hands that João Vieira had, where he was battling it out with Ilis Parsinen, where Ilis was getting a little YOLO, and João Vieira was just doing João Vieira things, calling him down with first top pair, then top 2 pair, and a queen high flush draw. I mean, it's a pretty solid way to play poker. Obviously, the river call is not an easy one because, yeah, I mean, sure, you have to call. I get it. But it's one of these calls where you're like a little bit scared at least, right? You're like, oh my God, did he really flop a set or does he really have a flush?
Yeah, well, from Jalvera's point of view, he can't really do anything different this hand. You know, you check call to flop, the flush gets there, you got top two, you check call, river, he jams, you got a queen of clubs, so you got to call here. You basically click call and you're like, please don't have it, please don't have it. And then you see his hand, you're like, you idiot! 2 6s for Elis Parson, and what in the actual beep is that? I mean, like, oh my God, this is the most YOLO play ever. Very uncharacteristic for Elis. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Elis makes a lot of our final tables, and he's actually one of our biggest winners in the Super Millions. I think he's up over $1 million in profit. Whenever we see him play, he's actually really solid. We never see any crazy plays. So when he makes a play, it usually will get a lot of respect. Not this time for Elis, but I miss the guy. I want to see our PLO master back at our final table one day.
No, you're right. He's actually up close to $1 million. It's like $15,000 short. Yeah, maybe Elis just thought like, well, Javier pretty conservative. Watched him play a couple times. He's pretty tight. If I just really put him to the test, he's not gonna make the call here unless he actually has like the nuts or the second nuts. That wasn't really the case, but still, just I think I agree with you. Javier just did what he had to do. It's just click call, and then yeah, you just really hope he didn't have it and didn't turn it or didn't flop it. And we knew that wasn't the case. So well done by João Vieira. Let's see if we can see a different João Vieira tonight or if it's going to be all about those spade jumps. Let's take a look at our next man that we also haven't spoken about at all, Netanoko. Alexia Boyka. He's back as well. Apparently satellited his way into this one. He's made it to 2 final tables before and twice he finished 9th place. Is he going to do better tonight, Nano?
I mean, he did try to sell 35% of his action, right? And he actually sold most of it, 30% at 1.09 markup. So people are aware of this guy. He's a good player. To sell that much percentage, you can't just be a random guy. He hasn't done well yet. He's got a bunch of 9th place. He's got a 10th place. And this is just the reverse profile where it's the beautiful from the bottom. He's good at getting 9th place. He's good at getting 9th and 10th. And I don't think he's going to get 9th today, but we never know. But other than that, I don't know too much about him, but I'm sure he's going to try to ladder up. I'm just saying, I feel like I'm going to say that about everyone that's not in the top 2 stack. They're just going to try to ladder up.
Now he's got an incredibly Eastern European name, and you look at him and he also looks pretty Eastern European. I know that we have another player at this table who's actually Brazilian, and his name is so Russian. I have a hard time believing that Alexia Boyka was born in Mexico. We'll double check that soon. But I guess that's where he's currently living, and not a bad place to live. I've been to Mexico once, actually. I really miss it. It was so cool. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Mr. Boyka had on his journey to this final table. Oh yeah, this one is actually pretty wild. Netanoko, just take it away, mate, because I know you can appreciate these ones.
Yeah, these are the hands where you really learn a lot, right? Like we like the big coolers. They're fun in games, but this is the one where you're like, wow, that's a really cool move, right? So he flats in position with the King Jack suit against David Yan. David Yan, obviously a big sicko who's just a big crusher, also up a lot in the Super Millions. Calls the C-bet with just King Jack high on the 9-5-4. And then he turns a little gut shot and he gets checked to him, so he bets 33% with his straight draw. I like the play here. He's got 2 overs to the 9. When David Yan checks the queen, it's very unlikely David Yan has the queen himself. He probably would keep betting, so it puts a lot of pressure. And he puts in one more bet when he gets called on the river. It's very credible because David Yan needs to, I think, that Alexei Boyka has floated his hands with King Jack suited, King 10 and Jack 10. He might not think that actually happens. So Alexei Boyka's play is just very credible. It could easily be a set, a 9s, 5s. It could be pocket 4s, like the hand you love. It could be a 6-7, an ace deuce. And the thing is, say if David Yan even has a hand like pocket 10s or pocket jacks, he's not going to expect Boyka to be betting like a 9 this way on the river. So like he might have made a big fold or he folded a 9. So it's a great hand, and this is a hand I like to see because he might put some resistance on Michael Addamo today, right? Like you see plays like this, they're not scared.
He's Belarusian. I've never seen a scared Belarusian in my life. No. These guys are nuts at every limit, okay? All right, we've only got 6 more minutes until the poker actually starts, so we got to speed it up a little bit. Let's take a look at one of the 2 profiles of one of the guys that has never made it to a final table at the High Roller Super Millions. I believe next up is... No, that's not true, actually. We're going to cover this man who has a very Russian name, but I believe he is born and raised in Brazil. We have seen him quite a few times. His 4th final table already, his 6th cash. As you guys can see in the bottom right, pretty good scores. Nanonoko, 4th and a 5th. Nothing to scoff at. We'll forget about the 8th place. He should be able to do better tonight. Let's just go ahead and take a look at one of his hands immediately, since we have to speed up a little bit. Let's see what Yuri encountered on his journey to this final table. Take it away, Nano.
He baited on the flop. His opponent check raises him with Queen Jack on a 10-10-7. He just calls, of course, with the trip 10s. His opponent jammed, almost drawing dead. Yuri, he's a great player. All the Brazilian players, I respect them a lot. They really just fight a bit, and I forget who he was up against, but in that score recently, but he was really putting a lot of resistance, and he's got a different style. I love to see him play.
All right, then now it's time to take a look at one of the underdogs coming into the final table tonight. Next up is the profile of Chris Puetz, WSOP bracelet runner-up. Apparently has played 3 times in the High Roller Super Millions so far. This is his very first final table and also his first cash. Are you familiar with this man, Nanonoko?
No, I have no idea who this is, but he's not familiar with the Super Millions himself. I'm not too sure how he's going to play today.
Well, he comes in with 1 million chips, but he was at the bottom when it came to the final table betting. He got odds 21-1. I think it even went up a little bit because nobody put any dollars on him. So let's see if Chris can prove all of us wrong. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Chris had on his journey to his very first final table, where he had the 9-8 offsuit on this board. Nanonoko, he was battling with João Vieira. What do you see?
It's a very interesting play here. Anyways, he limp calls with 8-9 offsuit, check on the flops, and then he bets a turn. And in the river, he goes for a check raise with the 8-9, turning his hand into a bluff, because he was looking to show down this 8-9. And João Vieira did bet the river and folded to a check raise. I'm not too sure who had the best hand in the end of this one. I'm not sure if he needed to go for a check raise on the river, because it does seem like João could have just a busted draw, like a 9x or something like this. I'm not too sure, but maybe he got the same hand to fold. Maybe he got a better hand to fold. Probably not a queen, but if he got a better hand to fold, it was like a king 8 is what I'm going to imagine. Interesting play, but this is a feisty play for someone who's willing to go for it.
Next up is one of our previous winners of the High Roller Super Millions, and I think safe to say one of the biggest names in online poker and even offline poker ever. Isaac Haxton, he's finally back. It took him a long time. You guys can see it in the bottom right, like December 6th he got close. On July 7th he came in 7th or 8th as well, and he ended up winning the entire thing. He looked so damn good in that one, but it's been a little quiet around Isaac lately when it came to the High Roller Super Millions, Nana.
Yeah, that one win, he was a short stacker. He got really lucky in that one, right? 400K. That 400K pays for most of his buy-ins in the Super Millions. He's done nothing since. I think he's just been putting in bullets and getting nothing back. But today, he's going to try to take his little 18 big blinds and run it up one more time.
He's done it before. Let's see if he can do it again. I'm actually a little bit of a fanboy of Isaac, so it's really cool to have him at our final table. Let's take a look at one of the hands that Mr. Haxton had on his journey to his final table here, and where he apparently eliminated Matthias Zeibinger. Nanonoko, what do you make of it?
Well, I mean, from Isaac Haxton's point of view, this is the easiest hand to play. You check raise top 2 on the drawing board, you bet the turn, you shove the river, and because you're Isaac Haxton, you get called by the ace-jack second pair of Zeibinger. What's his nick? Hollywood Haxton, that's what they call him, right? But you know what's funny? Jungle Man calls him the Dark Prince, like, for some reason. Like, it was just... Jungle Man's he's a funny guy. He just has these nicknames for everyone.
He's a very wild guy too, and he's living a glorious lifestyle. I've seen that much. All right, that means we have one more player to cover before we take a look at our actual final table. Sorry, that guys, they were kind of rushing through the profiles here at the end. But Conor Drinan, also a big name when it comes to the high roller super millions, because he won on September 23rd, which was a WSOP edition, 1.4 million. I mean, he doesn't even need to win the tiny ones, Nananoko. But he does come in with a very tiny stack tonight. And you've shared the story, but he's the man who lost aces versus aces in the $1 million
Got
one
the hand
drop.
here too, I think. Potentially. Anyways, yeah, let's take a look at his hand history real quick before things roll up.
All right, let's take a look at one of the hands that Conor Drinan had. As you guys can see, beautiful profile, beautiful man, and he crushes life. Well, speaking of aces, this time he destroyed the aces of Ole Shemyon. I feel like tonight is a highlight reel of how people took chips from Ole Shemyon, by the way. This is not the first time we see Ole Shemyon with a zero. Well, Nananoko, it's good to flop top two pair.
And it's another hand that's actually really easy to play. If you get re-raise with King Jack suited, you're very deep, you call, you flop top two, you just keep calling, let your opponent either bluff or value on himself with two aces or ace king, and easily played for Conor. He's actually, I think, our biggest winner in the Super Millions, just because of that one big score, so he's gonna maybe get it done. I don't know, he's short.
You are correct. He's up 1.3 million when it comes to pure profit. Like Michael Addamo and Nicholas Estad have won more prize money, but they were also in for way more bullets. So Conor Drinan is indeed our biggest winner, and also made it to the final table tonight with only one bullet. Let's go ahead and see if we can still catch a glimpse of the seat selection process, because it is time for the main event of the evening. The main reason why all of you guys are here, and to be honest, the main reason why Nananoko and I are here, which is to commentate and watch and enjoy some actual live poker. Well, Nano, should I even ask you? You know what? I'm not going to ask you who's going to win tonight. What I'm going to do is, which seat will Michael Addamo take? Who's he going to take position on?
He's going to take position on Mulacher for sure because he's one of the best players at this final table. He's got the chips and he wants to handcuff him. He wants to make it so that he doesn't open as much, so he can open even more. I think it's no questions asked that Michael Adamo picks him. But Roddy, you didn't ask me clearly, but yeah, he is my pick to win the Super Millions today, Roddy.
It's
Who's your pick?
it's because we already know that you're going to pick Michael Addamo. Well, I'll just go for the man who comes in second. He does not
Oh,
take position
interesting.
on Thomas Mühlacker, actually. Michael Addamo stays far away from Thomas Mühlacker. Well, most of my money is on Thomas, so I'll go for Thomas, especially since you're picking a chip leader. Like, if you would have gone for a fun pick, if you would have said, like, Conor Drinan, I'll go with Isaac Haxton for the show.
No,
But if
I'm
you're
not
picking the
stupid.
well, I mean, if we take a look at the last 11, 12 prediction rounds that we've played, Nananoko, that is a questionable statement.
But yeah, Dom of Ace King first hand. This is free. I can't believe you didn't put a single dollar. I even messaged you in the group. I said, why don't you got to put your money down on Michael Adamo because it's free money and you didn't do it.
I didn't see it, but this also, as Michael Adamo is going to open things up with Ace King. I hope for Alexei Boyka that he doesn't think like, all right, I'm strong Belarusian, Michael Adamo raise any two cards all in. He's like, don't do it. He actually has it. Nananoko, I did not see that message actually.
Oh,
But,
I
oh,
messaged
he
in the
does
group
call.
chat, but never mind. But yeah, he did defend the King A. But Roddy, I want to touch base a little bit on the seat selection process. I thought he was going
Mhm.
to take position on Mulacher, and this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking he's sitting across from Mulacher. Well, I think he wanted. He didn't want to be out of position. He wanted to be in position with the short stacks, I guess.
Oh, no. Can you hold this
But
1 second? Do you
oh,
think that
aces and
Isaac,
tens.
yeah, right? Like Chris Woods, I mean, he does cover Isaac Haxton. Isaac is obviously going to open up. He's got 0%. I guess everyone has 0% VPIP. They just completely reset it. Sometimes it carries over from the Sunday.
Usually it
I mean,
does. Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, but Dom 100% does make sense.
I mean, that's actually accurate for the last 50 hands, guys. That's how he is played. What will Chris do? Is he going to 3-bet? Or is he just going to jam? What is it going to be, Nana?
It's a jam. You gotta jam this hand. It's two tens. And I know Isaac Haxton's opening off of a shorter stack, 13 big blinds, but like it's still two tens. He could We've seen guys open off short stacks with like just some kind of hand that they're willing to fold still. You can't fold this, man. The only reason Chris Perez folds his hand is because he doesn't normally play the Super Millions and he wants to ladder up or something.
Well, I mean, don't forget too that this tournament ends on the Sunday night. You have a day and a half to get ready. You tell all your friends you're playing a 10K high roller, Super Millions. Everyone can watch it. It sucks to bust in hand too. Okay, we've seen it happen quite a few times, but it does really, really, really suck.
You know, if I'm folding two tens here, I know it'd be the correct play. I would pull the internet plug so people thought oh my god, he
Whoa!
folded two tens.
Wow!
Sick. Sick or
I
knit? Which one is it? What's he saying?
They were talking about the blinds being rolled back. Dr.
Uh,
Mikey said, I guess they didn't roll back the blinds, question mark. And then Michael Dema said, I don't think they did. Maybe it has something to do with the amount of entries. We did have 202 entries this week.
no,
Well,
you know,
let's talk about folding
what's
pocket
happening
tens
there?
there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just a quick thought on the 40 big blind thing. I
Yeah.
believe they do. I remember one time you thought they didn't, and I actually did the math myself, and they actually did.
Okay.
So it's just when you're a certain stack, you think that your blind should change a bit. But yeah, no, that two tens. It's hard for me to tell you because I don't know Chris Pertz. We don't know. He is a Chris. It's not a Fitzgerald, but you know, like it's it's tight. It's very tight, Roddy.
Yeah, I feel, I mean, right now it's a genius play, right? Because he would have most likely been eliminated by the aces. If you're Isaac Haxton and you see this on the stream, I would
Oh,
kill
I
it,
think
man.
we might have a call here.
Connor
King
Drinan, the
Queen.
shortest stack at the final table, getting it all in with ace four, king queen in the big blind. Yeah, I think that's indeed a call. Let's see if Thomas Müller can close the gap to Michael Addamo. That looks pretty good. We need
Roddy,
an
one of
yeah,
your bets is gone. And there's no way that ace is coming. Nope, it's
we need
gone.
an ace and an ace only. It's not going to be an ace. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I was only thinking of Isaac Haxton actually, and I was kind of pissed because I feel that Isaac should have been at 1.8 million now, and he'd be actually in the running. Yeah, that is an unfortunate short night for Mr. Connor Drinan. Yeah, nothing we can really say about it, right?
Could be one of our fastest final tables. But hey, if Connor wins one of our super millions for 1.3 or 1.4 million or whatever, I think he deserves to go out in ninth once in a while, right? Like he's already spent all his run good in one tournament. Wow, look at this.
Isaac should probably jam this, right? Like, I know it's a bit scary, but he is the shortest stack technically out of all the remaining players. And ace-3 suited, small blind against big blind. He calls. Well, this might actually be a way to win even more chips if Thomas Müller decides to be stubborn.
I think Milaker is going to fire at least a quarter pot here. Yeah, no, interesting. I do think an ace-3 suited can easily rejam this pre-flop. Calling's okay too. It's kind of tricky because he is the shortest stack, but he's not much of the shortest stack, right? There is still other guys that are short. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what's the best play, but I do think it's reasonable both ways. He does make the call here, and now Milaker is thinking he must be thinking that this guy would rejam an ace a wide range, a wide percentage. Even though that board's pretty connected, these big cards are rejammable big cards, right? Like the king jack suited, the king queens, the ace jack. I guess we're still talking about the blinds, but
Yeah,
yeah,
he
it's.
checks it back.
I don't think Mulocker can go for it. The reason is it seems so stupid if you had an ace here to check that turn card.
Yeah.
So what is he repping besides like a random 8-7 offsuit that raised pre-flop? You know, like this would be heroic if he does make the play.
Let's see if Thomas Müller decides to get a little frisky on the river. And he does. He puts Isaac Haxton all in. And let's see if Isaac Haxton can make the correct call. He makes the correct call. Well, there go all the chips that Thomas Müller just gained. And Isaac Haxton will still get his full double up. He perhaps deserved with the aces. All right, Nananaka, that just happened. Welcome to the High Roller Super Millions. What a way to start tonight.
Yeah, no, that was a. You saw how fast Isaac Haxton called too. He's like, "Look, I'm not scared. Like your line makes. I told you his line makes no sense. I don't know why he did it. It's the wrong guy to do it against. This guy's like a brilliant hand reader. Isaac Haxton, like that was easy peasy for him. Free chips.
Yep. picks up a few more as he jams 8 in the small blind. Nothing that Chris can really do about that. Isaac hitting us with the running hut. Love it. It's been a little slow in the emotes over the last few weeks. I got, Nano, I had 2 guys, by the way, at the tables who watched that show. And they said, Roddy, I completely agree with the wow changing into the good luck and well played. He's like, we need wow back. And I was like, yes, let's start a petition. Come on, GG. Well, like, there's nothing better than playing some rush and cash. And then you get like the $20 or $40 bonus. And then everyone's like, wow, wow. But now it's like well played, which doesn't make sense because the hand hasn't even been played. So they took away our wow, Nanonoko, and I want it back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty funny. Okay. Well, I'm glad someone enjoyed your story. I personally did not care for that story, but
that's
thank
because
you
you
very
can't play yet. Just wait, Nanonoko. Just wait until you move around or they finally legalize that online poker in Australia and you can fire up the tables and you can spam some emotes. Oh, you're going to be like, you know what? Roddy was onto something. WoW would be so much more appropriate here than well played.
much.
Look at Dr. Mikey, by the way. He opened up ace-jack offsuit under the gun. Not a crazy play, but there's often very tight players who like to fold ace-jack offsuit under the gun when they're just trying to make some pay jumps. Oh, Nanonoko, is that too much or are we calling?
I think it's too much because he's raising in the cutoff.
Yeah.
It's what, 12 and a half big blinds? Yeah, I think the fold is fine. It's not. A lot of times, Chris is gonna have like an ace x2, and you're not even beating that hand, right? Like ace 10, you're like behind a little bit, so it's the right play. This is a raise coming. We know this, right?
Yeah, I feel like whenever it gets folded to Michael Addamo, we know a raise is coming. If Alexei Boyka makes the call here, ace 5 obviously does very well against king 5. Could also decide to fight back in a bigger way. That's what he does. Belarusians, Nanonoko. These guys, they grow up with no fear, let me tell you that.
Yeah, that was a no fear play right there. Like it was not an easy play to make, but definitely the right play. I'm curious to see this hand develop right now. Ace Jack.
I don't think Dr. Mikey has the courage to 3-bet Michael Addamo here, even though you probably should, right, with ace jack. And
Right.
obviously we know there's 9s too, but and
No,
he
he
does.
does.
All right. Okay.
He's not scared. Like I said, the Uruguay people, Roddy, like they're not scared. Yeah, he satellite in for $250, but he's playing. It looks like he's still playing
Okay.
his game. I like it.
What would you do here with 9s? Because I'll be honest, I'm maybe a little tight in that regard, but I actually think I'd fold my 9s here.
These should go straight into the muck because if what Boykan should know is that Mikey's satelliting for $250. He's less likely to be 3-bet bluffing. I'd probably be throwing these 9s straight into muck. He's going to go for it though. And
I love it.
wow,
We're gonna get an all-in and a call, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I think. Well, let's see. How much did
Come
Boyka
on.
start the hand with? He started with 20 big blinds.
He started with 1 point. Come on, he has like 66% of his stack already in there. Like,
No, I know Boyka's gonna go. I'm just saying, Dr. Mikey. I don't think he's gonna
he
commit
might
against
yeah.
this because it's a lot of chips. It's still 15 more big blinds to like combined. The whole stack.
It's all in or fold though, right? Like I don't think calling makes any sense because then if you don't hit, you don't even get to see the all 3 cards because you know there's a jam coming. So I think it's all in or fold, and I'd be okay with a fold here.
I think it's too much for him to call because Boyka started in hand with 20 big blinds. It's a little bit too much because wow, that's Boyka's here to play. He's not scared. Some of these guys would be folding that hand. I probably would have folded considering Dr. Mikey is satellite in. I would have, but maybe he's been playing with him, right? Like maybe he's been crazy up to this point.
I really got to start making a little spreadsheet of guys that I absolutely love. Like Isaac Barron last week, that was just a masterclass, right? He played phenomenal. We had guys like Thomas Mulak who made a really good impression on us. But at this point, like I got fooled by the flag, okay? I see a Mexican flag and I'm like, these guys are laying on the beach in Cabo or something, you know, they're drinking all day. You can't trust them. If I know that I was dealing with a fearless Belarusian man, Nanonoko, there goes my bankroll. Okay, I believe in those guys.
Yeah, you're gonna have a list of, okay, put some final table bets on, don't put on this guy. So Jao Vera, which side is he on for you, Roddy?
Blacklisted, blacklisted. How many people put money on Javiera today? Wow, 124. He actually has the most amount of people betting on him. Not necessarily the most amount of money, but the most amount of people actually put some money down on Javiera. So they clearly do not care what you or I say, which is cool to see. But well,
And he gets 2 queens right now, but it's the country of Portugal. They believe in their man. Let's go. Jao Vera, he's got 2 queens. Free chips coming.
yep, probably just a 3-bet and a fold, right? I mean,
Yeah.
actually, that's a bit of an adventurous open, right? King, queen offsuit under the gun.
I would say the weakest hands you'd be opening is King Queen offsuit and Ace Jack offsuit.
Yeah.
And I think they're fine. They have good blockers. Like, King Queen, like when you open King Queen, like the guys can't really play back at you too much. This is
No, they can't possibly have queens, right? Because you block queens.
I know, but it is possible in this spot, as you can see. I mean, look at Zhao going with the 3-bet with the queens. Like, oh, this looks like aces, but I guess it's not. It's queens, but it's still up there.
Yeah. When Javiera is 3-betting you pre-flop, I think you know you're in trouble. Like, let's just put it like that. You're probably behind. Maybe a lovely hand for Thomas Mulliker to open up. Wonder if Yuri is going to defend his big blind. I mean, that's the Ben CB powerhouse. Not spades, but it's still a powerhouse, Nelanoko. We have to go to the Ben CB school. So would you say at least a call with a suited king?
Yeah, I think so. It's a pretty strong hand for a min raise, getting great odds. Of course, you don't need to win it too often.
Mm-hmm.
Like 20% of the time. Like you got
I
a
feel like
decent
he's,
stack.
yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
it's a rejam. The
yep.
powerhouse. My God, Roddy, what the hell?
He was taking too long to call. I was like, this man is never thinking about folding here because it's 70K to play for a 400K pot. I was like, he's thinking of 3-betting or jamming, and he just gets it all in. This could be a hand between your guy and my guy. Thomas Mulliker is going to open up with ace king. Michael Addamo will at least see a flop, but I believe Yuri folded a 3 there. And even though the 3s do good at the high roller super millions, 1-outers, probably not.
Yeah. And this flop, probably not.
No, we don't even have the 3 of diamonds. Like if we had that, you'd see all the backdoors, but don't do it, Michael Addamo. There's no need.
Gotcha. He sees a little wheel draw, doesn't he?
Yeah,
He
he
can't
sees it.
unsee it.
He's like, it's gonna be a 3 or a 4 on the turn. It's like, no, Michael, it's not. Let it go. This is where he's rabbit hunting. He's like, damn it, I should have called. Run out his 4-5. You're like, no.
I bet you the rabbit hunt makes people play worse, right, Roddy? Like it's just like, oh, I would have made the hands on next time I'm gonna make this play. He jams this, maybe? He raises? Don't
It'd
think
be
he just
wild if he
limps.
jams. I mean, it is a pretty big stack.
It's a Addamo style move.
Oh.
Can't call.
That
Unless
is
you're
20.
pissed off and tilted, let's just go for it. Ace 5 offsuit.
I mean, you know you're ahead, but you don't want to risk it, right? Like, obviously, because, yeah, you could be ahead, but how ahead are you really? Probably not super far ahead. So 25 big blinds is obviously a little bit too much to risk there with ace-5 offset. Wow.
All right, well, Jack 10 suited going for the race. 2 8s and a little dice. 2 8s straight in the muck for Yuri. Now, Dr. Mikey, ace queen suited. All right, this can't go in the muck. What is it? Is it 3-bet or is it call?
We're not. Oh, wow. Okay, he's just calling. Well, this should actually invite Alexia Boyka to tag along for the ride. Like the opening is a little bit bigger. It's not a min raise, but I think you still want to see a flop with the suited king.
Wow,
oh my God.
Satellite winner is getting crushed, Roddy. This is brutal. Brutal.
Wow. I'm speechless. What is this flop? Top and bottom pair for Dr. Mikey. Boyka flops mid pair and probably sees the backdoor space, but he's going to let it go. And João Vieira just flopped Broadway. What do you do? A raise?
Hmm.
He bets into you.
I'm not too sure what's the right play, Roddy, because I know if you raise here, it looks strong, and you're even stronger, right? Because you look like you got ace king if you raise here. You just call it. I like to just call. I feel like I know it's a bit drawy,
Yeah.
but it's you're gonna get your opponent to hero fold like an ace jack, an ace ten, and you don't want that with this hand.
Dr. Mikey now checks. He's taking a pretty odd line here, like pre-flop calling with the ace-queen suited, then betting into the pre-flop aggressor and checking the turn. Alexei Boyka's probably a little upset. He sees the 5 of spades. He's like, damn it. I bet the river is another spade or a king. But
I know. Zhao should bet small. I think he should bet like half at most.
mhm.
He should, yeah. He realizes that his opponent probably usually has a one pair hand. He actually has two pair. But I think he reads his opponent for an ace jack and ace ten, maybe like a king jack that just felt like doing his play. Makes the
What
call.
what a good run out for João Vieira, you know. No extra hearts. The board doesn't fare. No jack or a 10. Like, that's
Yeah.
the run out that your sweet baby dreams are made of when you flop Broadway. So good.
I'm not
You think he
sure
goes for
what
it all?
sizing. I'm not too sure. It depends on what Zhao thinks Dr. Mikey has. He does gonna put it all in. I think he's hoping Dr. Mikey has like King Queen, which would make sense.
Mm-hmm. King, queen, or probably even ace queen. Maybe he thinks an ace queen offsuit. Like, it's possible.
It's gonna be hard for Mikey to fold this Ace Queen.
I think he I think he will, because João Vieira would play ace king the exact same way as he played
True.
jack 10 here.
Yeah. This guy said
Like,
it,
he's
let it in. He's probably like, when have I ever folded two pair? God.
like, what hand could João Vieira possibly have that he beats other than, let's say, ace jack of spades or ace 10 of spades? I feel like those are the only two hands that João Vieira could have that Dr. Mikey beats. Other than that, it just I think we can fold
It's
this,
like he
but I also think we
beats.
should three
Yeah,
bet ace queen suited on the pre-flop.
yeah, it's pretty tough.
I think he's gonna fold though. I think he will fold. The only thing you can also maybe say is that he could have busted hearts, right? But like, what kind of busted hearts? Queen jack of hearts? Would he open that under the gun? Yeah, maybe, probably.
Well, with a Queen Jack of Hearts, I would be asking myself, would he bet so tiny on the turn? It was like a third pot. And I think the answer is no.
Hmm.
So while those hands make sense from a logical point of view, from a bet sizing point of view, it doesn't make sense. So I would rule out those hands a lot. Honestly, this looks like a hand that he wanted to rule. That's a brilliant fold from Dr. Mikey. I love it.
It is a really good fold, but I also can't help but fight the feeling that we could have maybe prevented this, you know, if we would have just three bet ace queen. Now, obviously, when somebody opens up under the gun, especially João Vieira, who doesn't get super out of line in general, I understand you're a little bit worried, and I know that he obviously would like a couple of page jumps, with Chris being relatively short, and Yuri was also shorter than him, but ace queen suited is still ace queen suited though, Nanonoko.
Yeah, it's a interesting hand, but he's getting pummeled right now, and
Yeah.
um, but it's not his fault. Like the hands he
Oh my
okay,
god.
bye bye,
No,
Boyka. Boyka, you can't just keep doing this. You can't keep doing
that's
this,
a
can
lot
you?
of chips though, mate. That's a lot of chips, mate. Boyka is the sickest. I love him, but he might be in trouble here. I don't know though. There's a lot of chips, Nano. How many
It
big
is.
blinds
It's
is that?
25
That's
big blinds, right?
Oh, he
Yeah,
calls.
but
No, 28 even. Well, we need an ace or we need some clubs. Queen of clubs, jack of clubs. Nope, it needs to be an ace and an ace only. That is not an ace, and that is going to do it for Alexei Boyka. He gets eliminated, and the rich get richer. This man is like, you know, Michael Addamo cannot get a hand, okay? He never has any hands. It's like, well, eventually he might have a hand that he calls you with. Not an easy call, though, for Addamo, I think.
yeah, you can see that for him, it actually took some time because that was more big blinds than normal. Did you actually calculate how many big blinds actual was?
Well, it was 1.9 million. Big blind is 70K, so it's like
God, that's
28,
a hard one.
29.
That is a hard one. I got to do the calculator on that one.
28 big blinds.
27. You're right. Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of big blinds to reshove. I think it was reckless, to be honest.
Yeah, it
Especially
was reckless. Especially because it's not the first time, right? I think if that's the first time he does it, he may get away with it. But this is now already the second time in 24 minutes that he's made that kind of a play on Michael Addamo.
yeah, that was. Is it safe to say Michael Addamo is going to win this tournament now? I mean, he got a gifted 2 million
yes.
chips there.
Tell me more, Nananoka. Tell me more how safe it is that Michael Addamo is going to win this tournament. Me and all the other 81 individuals that put some money on Thomas Mühlacker, we want to hear you talk about how likely it is that Michael Addamo is going to win this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is. I was just a punt. Right? I don't like. I like Boyka's game plan, but there's a point when the risk reward ratio is not in your favor, right? With 27 big blinds and multiple people to still act behind you, I believe in that one. Like, it was just unnecessary.
This could also actually be. I feel like Chris
This
might
final table's over, Roddy. Like, we've already busted so many people. We should actually have less people. I feel like Dr. Mikey could potentially be out, and Chris Perch should have lost with 2 10s. This guy's gonna avoid the Jack 10 now. Like this, he's showing the ace queen. It's pretty funny.
Yeah,
this
Michael
tournament should be
Damo's
even
back in his.
shorter.
He's back in his element of the first 11 weeks, isn't he? Like he's having fun, making big calls, raising a bit, showing some hands. It's good to have Michael Addamo back. I'll give you that much. Hey, but let's not count out Mr. Isaac Haxton, though. Good old Hollywood Haxton. Started out with like 800K. He's already up to 2.2 million. He's done it before, Nananoka.
Yeah, I agree. But you know what's funny? João Vera won that big pop, the Jack 10 of spades earlier, and he just folded Jack 10 undergun this time. Now he's like, pay jump's too big. I've got a good stack. There's 2 guys that are super short. He's like, all right, back to my original mode.
And on top of that, how many times are they gonna flop the nuts with Jack 10? You know, you can't push it. It's not gonna. He's not gonna flop Broadway again, and he knows it.
I like your style. That's how I like to think about hands, but usually it's pretty fishy.
It is fishy, but it's still true. Dr. Mikey has now dropped Andre Mille. We actually
Mikey came in what position? It was pretty big stack, 4th, right?
Dr. Mikey, I think 3rd even.
Oh, wow.
I'll look it up again. I know we have a free roll starting in not too long. I kind of missed the first, but obviously they spam it in the chat too. But we have another free roll starting in actually like 20 minutes or so, but there's no late reg. We're giving away 10 $5 tickets for Spin and Gold. Password is PLO, all caps, password PLO. Just head over to the free roll section in the client and you guys should be able to find it. Starts in 20 minutes. Password PLO. The great game.
I think this is a tough spot of ace 10, to be honest. I don't mind the fold. It's like a short stack who actually open folded 5s. I've seen him fold 8s to a reshove like Yuri. So like I like this fold that Mikey did with ace 10. Oh. But Mühlacker, wow, big move. Now Dr. Mikey's like, why didn't I reshove that ace 10? This guy just snap folded. Oh, Mühlacker's he does not give up, does he?
He's pissed.
He's pissed about the Ben Ward hand from a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. I also think, what was the other, the 9-5, man? The 9-5 against Isaac. It's like he's pissed about that one too. This is a little tilted.
I can't believe Isaac Haxton always runs up his tiny little micro stack into last time he did that, he won the tournament. I mean, even now, it's already a great performance, right? Like he's got 2 pay jumps. It's definitely going to get more.
Yuri does pick up a round of blinds here with a 7s. That's a nice frame. I think that Dr. Mikey is really beating himself up because right now we have only been playing for 30 minutes, which is nothing. And he has lost over 1 million chips, right? He came into this final table 3rd. He came in with almost 2.4 million. He's lost 1.4. And I think it's safe to say that most of that didn't actually have to happen. Now, Michael Addamo is casually opening King 5 offsuit under the gun. Yuri has ace 10 offsuit in the big blind, and he's not afraid of Michael Addamo, so he gets it all in. I do feel like they're fighting back though, Nanonoko. They're not just rolling over and giving it to Michael.
That's the funny thing about like people have know about Michael Addamo now. Like he just always raises like all these random cards. It's funny. Like everyone has a game plan for him. They know they're gonna run into him in tournaments. They know that at final tables when he's got big stacks, he's just gonna raise them. They just reshove lighter on him. And sometimes though, he wakes up with 2 8s and Boyka goes out with ace 4 suited. It happens.
I actually really wonder what João Vieira does here with King, Queen of Diamonds. He's opening it up. It's
He's
obviously
not
a
gonna
pretty
fold
end.
this hand,
No, no,
Roddy.
no,
Like
no.
he's not that tight.
Okay, and he just takes it down. There were a couple of mediocre hands across the table. It does always feel good, I think, when you have King, Queen and you don't get 3-bet. You're like, it's good. I mean, you say that he's not that tight. He was pretty tight the other week. No, he was pretty. I mean,
He's
I know
not
he had less
satellite
chips.
tight, okay, Roddy? Like we've seen some
Yeah.
guys out there, like I forget who, I don't know, some of those didn't one of those guys actually win the tournament one time? Ferrari man.
No, it wasn't Ferrari, man. I know who you're talking about. Dimius G was very tight. Dimius. He he
Okay.
got he got
I
raised
think a
12 big
re-raise is
blinds in a
coming,
row.
Roddy. Adamo's been waiting to do it. Like, he's antsy. He sees King 10 suited, he sees a medium stack open, he's like, I've got to play this hand, I've got to 3-bet this.
Oh
It's
my god.
3-bet all in.
You said re-raise, and I was like, yeah, I can see it. I did not expect him to do this jam. I do like when Michael Addamo plays a final table like this. I always have the feeling that he's got 17 other tables open, and he just looks at a hand. He's like, oh yeah, good stack, all in, like very effortlessly, you know.
He uses those chips and he puts even more pressure with them, right? Like, it's funny thing is if he had 3-bet the hand, there's a chance he loses that pop because I think Haxton would have at least called a 3-bet. But by 3-bet jamming, if you think about it more, it actually prevents Haxton from reshoving a hand like 2 9s and 2 8s that probably would fold to that massive shove with all the 5 big blind guys out there. So it's actually quite interesting because you risk more, but your fold equity goes way up. Kind of like for Boyka, right? Like he risked more, but like you can see Adam actually thought about the 2 8s. If he had 2 7s, 2 6s, I think they probably go in the muck.
I think you're right. I think it was the absolute bottom line of pocket pass. They made the call. Almost forgot that we still have Chris with us. Ace 5 suited under the gun. He is gonna open things up. I mean,
It's gonna
it's
work.
kind of an all-in, but yeah.
This is a big payday for him because he's got 5 big blinds to start this hand, or 6 or so. But nice.
Then again, he should have been the first player eliminated, right? Pocket tens, you come in second shortest stack, or actually shortest stack of the table. Somebody opens. Normally, you just jam them. He would have jammed them into aces. Would have been the end of him.
This will be interesting, I think. I think Haxton's got a good stack, right? 26 big blinds, roughly. Ace Jack against Addamo. I'm curious to see if he goes for the 3-bet all in, the 3-bet may smaller, or just the call. Because there is some huge ICM implications here with Chris Perks.
I like
He
this.
just jumps it. Haxton's a brilliant player, isn't he?
And it's also eye for an eye, right? It's like, hey, you remember what you did to me in that previous hand? I'll do it back. Just so you know, like, I think it makes sense. And he also just knows that Michael Addamo opens up a lot worse than Ace Jack offsuit.
Yeah, no, that's a great play. I think some guys would be scared there. They see all those tiny stacks, they just fold pre-flop, or maybe they call. But Haxton, like, he plays differently. I like that he always can feel like he's going for the win, right? Like it doesn't matter his stack
Hey.
size.
Can Chris get a double up here? No, never mind. Well,
Oh, you mean if he would have got a double up if he had shoved, and Addamo would definitely call up ace 6
yeah.
offsuit. Here though, I still think Mühlacker might have to call this off. It's so short, isn't it?
Yeah.
6.5
right.
big blinds.
Yeah, you don't love it because you know you're probably behind, but you have to pay 340K to potentially win 1.2 million. I think you have to call that. Thomas Mühlacker agrees. He will make the call with the suited king, and let's see if he can get lucky. Ooh, not a bad flop. Not a bad flop, but he still needs to hit king, 8, or a club for Thomas
I feel like
Mühlacker.
it's coming. I feel like it's coming. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, that is a flop you cannot get away from.
That is going to do it for Chris. He will be eliminated in 7th place, walks away with $85,000, if I can read that correctly. I mean, he came in with very few chips, so there wasn't too much he could have done. Oh my, no, 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 no,
The tournament is
no,
over, Roddy. The tournament is
no,
over. It's over,
no,
Roddy. Like 100% over. We know Mulocker's also not
no,
scared.
no.
He's gonna 4-bet jam these 2 queens into 2 aces. It's over, Roddy. Like this is officially the quickest Super Millions we will ever have. Can we finish it out before the break? My God.
I don't think that's gonna happen, mate, but oh no.
It's
Let's
over,
see if
Roddy.
Thomas Mullerkirk. Well, I like it when you say it that many times because that does give
It's
me the
over.
feeling that
So
we're gonna find a queen or maybe some random straight.
the only
Give
way
us a.
Mulocker doesn't lose his chips if he just calls.
Oh, it's
My
over,
God.
Nanonoko. The Nanonoko curse strikes again. Now, the only thing we need to truly figure out is how many chips is Michael Addamo going
He
to give
lost them
Thomas
all.
Mulek here?
He lost them all. Mulock, he lost them all. Because Adama's going to bet. He's going to bet the turn. He's going to jam the river. He's going to lose them all. I can't believe Mulocker got bailed out with the 2. Oh my
I love
God.
you, Nano. I love you. Thank you
This
so much. All the fans love you too. Like, this is what the show needs. We didn't want it to end here.
This is over. Nothing can save Adamo here. Like literally nothing. I
Don't,
think the
no,
only
no, 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 no.
no, it's not
No
possible.
reverse.
The only
Okay.
thing that could happen, I guess, is the queen. He needs to get one outed the other way. He has 2 outs. Did it hit the ace, or he can hit the queen? The queen would save him to some extent, right? Because like, oh, this is very likely. Oh, it's over though. I feel
But
bad for
well,
it. You got to feel bad for Adamo here, right? Like this is 4 million chips each.
he bets 900K on the turn. Thomas Mulliker will just call, right? Is there a reason to do anything else?
Nope, just call. He's just trying to pretend he's got like 2 tens or 2 jacks, trying to
Yeah.
like. He knows Adamo's gonna jam that river.
Oh,
Oh
no!
yes, it's
No!
over. Oh
No!
yes. Oh sorry, I
Oh
got
my!
so excited. I got so excited. I cannot believe the tournament is actually over. We aced it,
Oh my
Adamo. We
God!
aced it. That is
Oh my
disgusting.
God! This is ridiculous. Michael Adamo makes a set of aces on the river, hits his 2-outer. Well, now just all in. Thomas Mulliker is gonna pay it off. I mean, the 3 clubs. Who cares?
It's over. It's over, Roddy. I told you it was over. He's got
Mate,
13
you
million.
reversed it. You are so powerful that you reversed it. You kept saying he already lost all his chips, and I was like, no, 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 none of this reverse Nanonoko curse. This is outrageous.
And Adamo's like, I did not expect to hit the ace. He probably thinks the ace is a bad card. He's thinking, man, he's got king
Yeah.
queen. How's he gonna call now?
Check, check, check. Doesn't matter because even if he checks, Thomas Mulliker will probably still just jam.
Yeah, so. I think Adamo. You know what? He just got a terrible image. His best play is just to. Oh, he's going to bet tiny, 10% of the pot. He does think his opponent has king queen. I think for him to bet this, and Mulocker has to jam this. Like,
yeah.
Even though the backdoor clubs got there, he's going to be thinking if Addamo had backdoor clubs, he would not be betting 10% of the pot.
Exactly.
There's only one way Mulocker doesn't lose all his chips. He raises to 2 million, Addamo just calls, and he leaves himself 300,000 chips. That's the only way, Roddy, but he's losing more chips.
I know. Man, what a hand. Ah, so sick. The 2 biggest stacks at the table. Queens against aces. Queens flop top set. Aces make top set on the river.
Bye-bye.
It's a brutal game. Poor Thomas Mulliker. GG. He goes out in 6th place, walks away with $111,000. And Michael Addamo now, well, there you go, Nanonoko, has more chips than the rest of the table combined. He almost has double of the rest of the table combined. Like, this is so ridiculous.
Wow, this is the fastest Super Millions by far so far. Down to 5 with this crazy stack differences too, right? Like, oh my God. And Roddy, I told you, you should put down a lot of money. Take a look back at our group chat, man. You can see I told you this is free money. I'll put
I'm
your whole
paying.
bankroll on this final table betting on Addamo. Like,
I still
seriously.
believe in I still believe in Isaac Haxton. Okay, all that man needs is a chip and a chair. Michael Addamo is gonna dust away a couple chippies here to Dr. Mikey. He's already giving him some. You may as well call Michael Addamo. What's the worst thing that's gonna happen? It's 400K to win 1.3 million. You've got two suited cards. I think you should call here, right? Why not?
You actually should fold.
No.
I think. Oh, he's gonna call. The reason I say is you kind of by leaving Mikey in, you make the other people fold even more.
That's true.
So like,
No, no, don't do it. Don't do it to Dr. Mikey. Don't you guys? No, 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 no. Mate, this is so silly. Oh no, poor Dr. Mikey gets eliminated in 5th place. Still a legendary run for him. He turned $250 into $144,000. Well done. Still, that's a. He flopped 2 pair, Nanonoko. The man flopped 2 pair, okay, and got busted by 7-4 runner flush.
this is this is a funny final table, isn't it, Roddy? Like, there's just some funny things happening today. This has been
I'm
actually.
pissed.
I'm excited. Like, I got my heart jumping. You're pissed. Like.
I think we should. All right, Yuri just makes the call. I cannot believe we are down to 40 minutes into our show. For everyone who's new to our show or is just casually watching every now and then, it happens quite often that we lose 0 players until the first break, which is in 15 minutes. Sometimes we lose 1 player. Crazy days we lose. Oh,
Oh, Jalvera gonna get a clean double, in my opinion. I feel like Addam gonna reship this King Jack. Unless he has some crazy read that Zhao is infinitely tight. But still, Zhao's still gonna open hands that will fold.
look
Bye
at
bye,
this.
2 million. He's
He
limping!
I love that.
I still think Adamo might just rip it in. You think so? No, he checks.
Oh,
Oh, two
no!
pair, yes!
I'm out of here. Take it away, Take it away. I cannot commentate this anymore. This is absolutely outrageous what is happening. Where do I send my complaints? Michael Addamo. What is this run?
This has been the funniest sun running I've seen in a long time. Like, oh my gosh, this Adamo. Like, sure, he loses tournaments like just quickly with a bunch of bullets, but when he runs hot and he's got the chip lead, is always wins the tournament. I can't believe first time, 4-time champ, right, Roddy? 4-time champ
Yes.
coming. You agree with me?
I still believe in Hollywood Haxton, but no. Let's just see how this hand plays out. Maybe the board pairs with a 7. Maybe Jalviera can pull a Michael Addamo. So he needs an ace, a 7, or a 6 on the river. I mean,
I like how you're calling it like it's an all-in already. You know, like you're like.
yeah, because I mean, Jalviera wants to get paid on his aces.
Michael is actually like thinking, man, I've got this guy. This guy's trying to put me to the test. I think he might just jam now. I think he should too.
If he does jam, he's got 8 outs. It's not the worst thing. There are outs.
There isn't a river card that Zhao would fold to. I guess the question is it better to let his opponent potentially bluff or maybe get some value now? There is a guy of 8.5 big blinds, so your stack is worth protecting. Calls, yeah. Bye-bye. What is there a goodbye emoji? Because
yes, there is.
It needs to be used.
There is a goodbye emoji. People spam it when they suck out on you. It's pretty tilting.
We're going to be down to 3. There's a chance we finish it.
No, okay, no, don't get crazy. You said there is not a river card that can save him. The 9 of diamonds is a bit scary, though, isn't it? It's one of the scariest cards for his aces.
I agree, but just take a look at our villain. Yeah, he's not folding these 2 aces. He's up against
I,
Michael Addamo. Against other people, for sure. I think it's very reasonable to fold.
I actually
Against
think he's gonna
Addamo.
fold. I actually think he's gonna fold.
Roddy, you think he's that tight? He's not that tight, Roddy. João Vera is not
How
gonna fold.
likely is it? Like Michael Addamo could have so many random hands from the big blind that beat aces here. Like, yeah, it could be a bluff because it's Michael Addamo, but I actually think he's gonna fold. This man cares about pay jumps. He looks at Yuri. He looks at fourth place payout. It's like 187,000. He looks at that 242 for top three. I think
He
he's
needs to
gonna fold, man.
disconnect his internet connection to fold his hand. He cannot fold these two aces.
I
He
think he
knows
can.
it'd be criminal. He knows it.
I think he can.
It's the wrong guy to fold it against. I know it's the right play right now, but like
Oh, I'm
Joe's
not
thinking,
disagreeing with you, but
he's thinking
that
about
nine.
everything you said, Roddy. It makes a lot of sense. But in the end, he's thinking, but this is the man who's the craziest player in tournament poker history. He's as
so
crazy
many
as
hands.
Romashka in a different way.
No, nobody's. Alexei Boyka, Romashka, Michael Addamo. There is a lot of random hands that beat him here. 8-5, 6-7, 9-6, random 2 diamonds. Obviously, King Jack is the winner. Queen 10. There is a lot of random hands that beat aces here, man. That 9 of diamonds, you said there's not a river card that can save him. I think if there is a river card that could have saved him, it was the 8 or the 9 of diamonds.
More likely the 9 of diamonds, but yeah, I can see what I see what you're saying. I'm just thinking I'm up against Michael Addamo. I'm just like, he got me, he deserves the tournament.
I don't disagree.
Taking my 187,000, I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but I actually do think this is one of the 2 river cards that could save him.
I mean, Zhao's thinking about it. Look, this guy, he can create things to make him fold. This is the one man that can do it, right, Roddy? He's gonna tell himself a story. This guy got the King 7. He's got the Jack 7 offsuit. He's got the backdoor diamonds. Like, yeah, you know, I can get behind the logic. It does
but
make
then
sense.
You're also telling her he can also just have 4-3 offsuit and just be pulling a quick one on me, and I'm gonna be embarrassed. It's tough, man. I mean, massive pay jumps, right? It's not an easy decision. I bet he wished that Michael Addamo would have just gotten out of line on the flop, and if you then you don't have a decision, right? Because then you have aces. But these runouts can look very, very scary for just
Michael Addamo
aces.
actually did check raise the flop, if you recall correctly. So Vera did have an opportunity to put in more chips, but he decided to play a little bit slow. I do think you're right on one point. I mean, a lot of points actually, but one point for sure is that Yuri is short 8.5 big blinds, and he's wondering if he can outlast him with this 1.3 million. And it does mean something, because pay jumps with Final Four is actually very important. Pay jumps with 9 people left is not as important, right?
I mean, it's a pay jump of 6-7 and buy-ins, and we know that João Vieira likes to play this tournament, so you're guaranteeing yourself playing the high roller super millions until summer, basically. Now, that's pretty nice. Free rolling till summer. Well, if you actually do outlast him. It's difficult. I totally understand he's taking his time, but I also think that he has already gone through all the possible scenarios right now, and I don't think he can come to any new conclusion. I think he's torn, and it's very simple. Like, he's got it or he doesn't. Like, I don't think there's a lot of poker logic we can really apply to a limp pot with Michael Addamo in the big blind. Like, what can you really apply to it?
Yeah. From a hand reading point of view, he should be beat a lot. From a player dependent point of view, he should be ahead a lot. So which one do you go with, Roddy? You got 6 minutes to think about it. He makes the call and he's out of the tournament.
Oh, poor João Vieira took a couple minutes there for that river decision, and he will receive the bad news that Michael Addamo is sun running as he flopped top 2 pair. Yuri should go all in here with ace-4 down to 3. I cannot believe it. We've got 3 players left. 58 minutes into or 48 minutes into some actual poker. Like, Nananoka, normally we have a 3-hour show. Sometimes we have a 4-hour show. We're now 48 minutes in, and we've got 3 players left.
And one guy with 17,902,000, right? Like you expect someone to have a contention, maybe like someone else got 7 million or something, right? They can fight back, but this is not even close. Addamo's gonna open this hand. I think Yuri should reshove this. He still has fold equity with this stack size.
Imagine how crazy this is for Yuri and Isaac. Because if you would have told them they came in 8th place and 6th place, if you'd have told them you'll be top 3, they'll be like, yeah, that's pretty good. And they haven't even done a whole lot to get top 3. Like, it's all been Michael Addamo. He's been single-handedly giving these guys massive pay jumps.
Yuri has literally done nothing this whole
No, he
tournament.
lost chips. He lost chips. He lost
Yeah.
400k chips, and he's top 3. Like, this is so silly.
He's barely done anything. He's gotten free money. Isaac Haxton did make some. I'll give him credit.
Yeah.
Like he reshoved the ace jack, right?
Yep.
He called down with the ace three. He deserves it. But look at Thomas Mulock. He came in second. Out. It's funny because he had a big stack in that other tournament too, where he had a deep run. He put a resistance, right, and he's out of the tournament. Like he's just brutalized. He deserves more money, to be honest.
Yeah, he does.
Nice play for Yuri here. But and Dr. Mikey, he's out. He doesn't deserve to be out in 5th place or whatever he got.
He flopped 2 pair against 7-4, mate. He did not deserve to be out at all. And then Javiera, I mean, he did limp aces, but it doesn't really matter because it's not like Michael Addamo is folding King Jack on his big blind when he's. I don't even know. Like, how many big blinds does he have? Does he have 165 big blinds? Is that correct?
That is right. Here it is. Call. Ace deuce. Think you got to call this one, right? Like 14 big blinds. If he doesn't call this, I guess he thinks that he can still kind of grind them down together, which makes some sense, right? Like maybe they just bleed slowly down to like 1.1 million together. That would actually be better. Ace deuce is actually not crushing. I think with ace 6, ace 7, he definitely would be calling ace deuce.
Yeah.
It's 14 bigs too. He does make the call though.
I like your explanation a lot there, actually. Like, I think in a bounty, it's snap call. But here, yeah, actually, maybe it's better to wait. We do turn a pair of deuces. Obviously, there was a 7 on the flop, so we need an ace or a deuce on the river, and that's not an ace or a deuce. So we are still left with 3. And Yuri will pick up a few more chips. Isaac Haxton probably not super happy to see it. Do we have a tournament, Nananoko? Is this a battle? He's down to 152 big blinds, okay?
One more double up and then he's got something a little bit worried about, right? But still, in this stack situation, advantage is obviously all him. He can put so much pressure on. I am worried for Addamo though if Isaac Haxton gets one more double up because we know that guy can do some damage. With 19 big blinds, he's very handcuffed still though.
Michael Addamo is going to raise the king 9 offsuit. Yuri is obviously going to let it go. Yeah. I mean, now that Yuri's got more chips, now Yuri is going to wait until Isaac makes a move. And if Isaac doesn't make a move, then Michael Addamo knows, I know that you don't want to bust before him because now you've got a massive chip lead. This is it's a fun way to play poker like this, right? When you've got 155 bigs and the other 2 guys have around 20.
For sure. And I think Yuri's at a huge advantage of getting the little pay jump in the sense that the way he plays is he's going to try to outlast Haxton, but with the sense that he's got a good amount more chips in him, he's going to fold his small blind a lot more. He's going to fold his button a bit more. So Isaac Haxton has to make the move first. Yeah, he's going to win this one.
And he's got a set, mate. He's got a set. You know how good it is to have a set when you're 3-handed? It's invincible. Don't do it, Isaac. Don't fold the 4s. I know
he's not going to fold 2 4s. This is Isaac Haxton. Like, give him more big blinds. He still doesn't fold this hand.
There we go. Makes it 1.1 million, and Michael Addamo has to let it go. 9-5 can't do much there. Ooh. Queen 10, King Jack. All right. How many pairs will Michael Addamo flop? That's a big question.
Curious to see how Addamo goes for this one. Is he going to go like 3x? No, he actually checks. I think he's afraid of getting limp jammed on, which they probably would do a lot on him with this stack size. Let's roll that queen off.
Interesting board, of course, right? Yuri with top pair and a gutter ball. Michael Addamo with the open-ended straight draw. Gotta call this. The 5 of hearts doesn't really change anything. Let's see what Michael Addamo decides to do on the third.
If Addamo does not hit that river card, I think he could lose a lot of chips here. This is a good board for him to actually multi-barrel against a small blind limp. Small blind's going to have a lot of like 7-8s, 9-7s. Okay, he does check, thank God. Yeah, I think Adamo's aware that people try to trap him all the time. So he's probably adjusted his game a little bit, right? I think.
How many people did bet on the Michael Addamo? I guess most. I mean, the odds were 2.75, right? Like, yeah, it's pretty good, but normally poker is hard. You know, if Michael Addamo starts off this final table, like he's got 6 million chips, okay, that's fantastic. But if he loses like 1 million pretty early, then all of a sudden he's gonna start worrying, and then you can't really get too reckless anymore. But the queens against aces, just that's such a ridiculous hand. Also between the biggest and the second biggest stack. Addamo just called, by the way, with king high.
All right, let me just give him a chance to come back. All right, well, why not?
Well, I know that I need this break. Nanonoko is wide awake, guys. He was a little sleepy before it started, but he loves everything that he just saw. We're going to take a little break, play some highlights for you guys, and show you some of the promos that currently run over at GG. And we'll be back in 4 minutes with only 3 players. Never happened before. See you soon.
Hello, everybody. Daniel Negreanu here with some good news from the GGPoker Network. We've been preparing a promotion for the new year called GG Care. As any poker player might know, sometimes you find yourself in what we call unfortunate situations, you know, some ugly bad beats, right? Well, that's where GG Care comes in. GG Care will take care of you with huge prize pools available every day. Let's see how you can get your GG Care benefits. Aces versus kings. Yep, all in before the flop. I mean, nobody's going to fold that, right? That's just a setup. It's a cooler. I can't imagine being, you know, at the final table of the World Series of Poker heads up and this happening to me. It's just brutal. Bad beats should never be a thing, but they are. Thanks, GG. I flopped the top set. Very nice. Some fucking idiot chases a runner straight to suck out on me. Unbelievable. But in my darkest moment, GG Care was there. Thanks, GG. Flop the second nut set, the middle set on the flop. It's an impossible cooler. How can you be beat there? The guy has top set. Nobody's folding that. Sometimes it just feels unfair. Thanks, GG. As you can see, in the most unfortunate of situations, GG Care will appear for you. Are you curious how to get these benefits? Don't worry, you don't even have to lift a finger. First, simply enjoy the game as usual. Whenever something unfortunate happens, GG Care will be there. Secondly, when confronted with such circumstances, GG Care automatically will register you into a flip-out tournament with a huge prize. Just check the pop-up window. Thirdly, take a rest, have yourself a nap, get yourself a good night's sleep, clear your mind of all the bad beats, and when you wake up, the daily GG Care prizes will be waiting for you. That's all there is to GG Care. Pretty simple, isn't it? Just play the game as normal and GG Care will take care of you. And the prize money will only grow more and more in the future, so keep your eyes posted and good luck, everybody. I hope you don't have too many bad beats, but if you do, GG Care will be there. Thanks, GG.
Elkie was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor hold stings. Oh my.
Michael Addamo is the best.
Welcome back, everyone, to the second hour of the High Roller Super Millions, where we've got a very, very empty table. This is legitimately the first time in 41 weeks that we are entering hour 2 with 3 players. Like, I don't know what just happened. Well, Michael Addamo happened, and Michael Addamo's good. Michael Addamo's aggressive, and if he also starts running good and sucking out on people, they start dropping flies or start dropping like flies left, right, and center. We do have a fun hand here, Nanonoko. This is the first hand after the break. Yuri opens up pocket sevens. Isaac Haxton calls, and he flops bottom pair and an open ender. And a set for Yuri. Is this an all-in?
I think this could easily get all in by the river. Could be on the flop, but certain runouts can also could end this tournament for one of these guys, depending on which one come off. I was making a coffee. I was like, I got to get back quick because the tournament might be over if I'm like 2 minutes late.
Yep. I'm actually worried because normally we announce our final free roll, the biggest one, in around 24 minutes. It could legitimately be over by then. Like, I hope it's not. I'd love to see a little more poker. We do get the call from Isaac Haxton. Turn queen doesn't really change that much.
Yeah. Let's see. Yuri, it's probably going to bet like, what, half the pot, I'm going to guess. He shouldn't bet too much bigger, in my opinion. Yeah, perfect. Exactly half. The reason is Isaac Haxton probably has like an 8. He might have a straight draw. But also, if he had a 10, Isaac Haxton, he check raises the flop a lot. So he's very targeted towards like a very weak pair right now, especially with that overcard rolling off.
Let's see what Isaac Haxton decides to do. He makes the call. The river is another queen. Obviously means Yuri has a full house. Isaac Haxton is stuck with bottom pair. Well, he's got 2 pair, but nobody cares.
Well, Yuri's obviously going to shove this hand. For Haxton is a tough, annoying spot because if you're fold, you got 11 big blinds. You're like, oh man, what do I do with this? I'm trying to think.
Yeah. It's tough. Like, the only thing it really beats is obviously just nothing. There is a chance Yuri has nothing on this board, right? Like any ace jack.
Yeah, there's a reasonable amount of hands Yuri could have. Obviously, 2 spades being the most obvious, but ace jack, king jack, 9x. Good fold from Haxton. Nice one, Addamo.
That would not have been good enough, Michael Addamo. It would not have been good enough. King jack. Oh, this could be it for Isaac Haxton, right? I think if you're shortest,
so.
Michael
He's gonna
Addamo
shove.
opening. It's actually really bad, man, because Yuri has a 10-2 and it's spade. Like, ugh. This is like worst case scenario for Jack 10 suited against King Jack offsuit. A spade dead, a 10 dead. Isaac Haxton is gonna need a little bit of luck here. Let's see if he can get there. Well, he needs a king now, so he's got 3 outs.
Oh.
He's got all the outs.
Don't
King
do this.
8 or a spade.
Don't do this. There we go. Addamo does not run that bad. He gets sucked out on.
That means Isaac Haxton will be eliminated in 3rd place, walks away with $240,000. And that means that we are down to heads up I cannot believe I'm saying these words 1 hour and 3 minutes after we actually started watching this table.
And it's Yuri. Yuri's, he didn't do too much this final table, but he's been really solid. He's always been a great performer out of Super Millions. I don't think he expected it, but he's not complaining at all. Let's see. We got a good heads up match going though. Like I know Adamo's got 16 million, but Yuri actually has 40 big blinds to start this heads up
Yeah.
match, which is a lot.
It is a lot, but we also know what Michael Addamo likes to do, and that is to all in a lot. So it could be over at any given moment. Yuri at this point betting with absolutely nothing, just king high. Michael Addamo with trips. Why not?
Yeah, but no, great performance with Haxton. He got third place from an eighth place starting the final table. That's a good score, 242K.
It is a really good store. That's funny. Michael Addamo leads out one big blind on the turn. Let's see what Yuri decides to do with his king high. He is officially drawing that in his hand.
I think
Makes
he
the
has
call.
to pay off with that one big blind bet.
And this is tricky because the board looks really powerful. Like I would honestly think that, like, yeah, you play the board here and the board is good.
But I think Adamo's going to get greedy. He's going to bet big. He's going to try to
Yeah.
get paid off by an ace or a three. He's probably going to go pot. That's what I'm guessing.
I think even more than that. I think he's
Yeah, he
gonna
could.
bet more than pot.
The minimum
Well,
bet is like 800,000. Most likely 1.2 million is my guess.
1.5 million. Michael Addamo is crazy. He's gonna try to get him off the chop, which is not a chop. Okay. Ignore everything we just said. He just all in. It would have worked. Imagine if Yuri has a good ace here, then probably actually
But
gets it done.
three would
Yeah.
obviously get it done. Adamo really wanted to finish. Imagine Yuri did have like an ace there or like something to call off with. Like if Jalvera did not tank for half his bankroll, the tournament would have been over before the break. But my gosh.
Yuri does flop a pair of queens here. Michael Addamo flops a gut shot straight draw. He's looking for a deuce. The only question is, what kind of deuce will it be, guys? Will it be the deuce of spades, the deuce of clubs, the deuce of hearts? We know it's coming. Oh, it's the deuce of diamonds. There we go. Well, I am just shocked, guys. This is so stupid,
The
mate.
tournament might be over this hand. It could be. I know Yuri's hand is weak, but like obviously if he hits a queen or six, it's definitely over.
Yeah.
But there's still a chance it's over if like say the river is like the 7 offsuit, something that looks like nothing got there.
This is a very big bet, of course. Oh no,
It's over.
no.
GG.
Okay,
Roddy,
this is the
I
this
picked
is the
another
most
winner. I picked
yes,
another winner.
congratulations, mate. Wow. And he really had to work incredibly. Did he just no, it's a Yuri first, right? Yeah.
It's over. It's over.
Oh, what a run. Okay, the definition of a sun run. From this point on, if you look up sun running in the poker dictionary, it should link to this VOD because this is ridiculous.
It's over. Yeah, it's over. He's gonna shove call.
Yep.
Like he's not folding queen six heads up against Michael Addamo ever.
No, yeah,
Wow.
you can't do that. What a river. Absolutely outrageous turn. And an even more disgusting river. Poor guy. I mean, poor guy. He does walk away with $314,000. But guys, after 41 weeks, Michael Addamo has now won 4 editions of the High Roller Super Millions. That is 1 out of every 10 times we've run this event. On average, 200 plus players, sometimes 400, 500 if we run special editions. Obviously, a stunning performance by him. But out of all the times that he won, I don't think it ever came easier than it came tonight, Nanonoko, because this was outrageous.
Definitely the easiest win for him by far. Here's the jam. There's a chance it's not over. Let's watch it. But like we're
It's
congratulating Adam, but I do agree it's over. But
you can't
wow.
fold this.
Amazing.
If he folds this, it would be a legendary fold. But
not folding this.
No, how can you fold this? Heads up versus Michael Addamo. I don't see how
Okay.
you can fold this.
You have to think about the action too. You'd have to think that Addamo bet the flop and turn with a queen, which is not that likely. Like a queen would check the turn a lot. So like, how do you fold queen here? Like, it's so unlikely your opponent has a queen himself.
Well, credits to Yuri. He is thinking about it. And I think that kind of shows that he clearly is a good player, but...
The Jalvera is going to happen. He's going to think for a long time and click call because he knows who he's up against.
He's got 10 minutes and 45 seconds left to make his decision. That could give us time to talk about the upcoming free roll one more time, guys. That will still happen. We're giving away 8 $25 tickets. The password is 4 cards with a capital C. It's 4 as in the number, and then 4 characters cards. So 4 cards. Little Oma meme. Shuri. Oh, wow!
He folded.
Wow, what a fold.
Correctly, Roddy. We're going to have to talk about his achievements again later.
Wow. Probably. That is a sick fold. Heads up against Michael Addamo. You make trip queens on the river, and he folds. I mean, sure, there will always be some people who's like, oh, he doesn't beat anything other than a bluff. I still think that's an absolutely amazing fold. Like, sure, he's got no kicker and stuff, but very, very, very well done there by Yuri.
Yeah, really, really sick fold. It's a good read from a hand reading point of view. Like, he should have the queen. The other guy shouldn't have the queen. The guy shouldn't be trying to bluff him off a queen. But man, it's just so sick. Beautiful play from Yuri. He has a chance. I would love to see him maybe reverse this around. Like maybe he deserves it after that fold.
He does deserve it after that fold. This hand is not going his way though, because the jack and the 10 do play. Oh no, they don't. Obviously, no, sorry, they don't. I didn't see that the board. Yeah, I didn't see the board double paired. So.
Right. I also don't see that you have any more final table bets on the table. Is that correct?
No, that is correct, man. It was a disaster today. I should have. I mean, I knew that you were going to talk about Michael Addamo all night long. So basically, I just went for the anti-Michael Addamo bet. I was like, well, there's a good chance he's going to win it, but I'm just going against the guys that are most likely to win if Michael Addamo doesn't win. And obviously, it could have been possible, but yeah, if I would have known he was going to run like this, then come on. Even poor Dr. Mikey, man. Dr. Mikey got bamboozled by 7-4 of diamonds, and he flopped 2 pair with King Jack. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he hit the set of aces against the set of queens was a crazy hand. Obviously, he had the best hand to begin with, so we can't say he got unlucky.
But it's a setup already.
But it was such a huge hand because obviously Mulacher had 40 big blinds to start with it, and then Boyka just donating 27 big blinds with the ace-4 suited. Like
that was a good call though by Michael Addamo because I don't think that was an easy call. You know, pocket eights, 27, 28 big blinds. Yeah. Not an easy call.
You know what's the funny thing that goes through Adamo's mind is like, in those tough spots, he's like, I think I should fold here. But he always clicks call. Like every single time. He just cannot help him. He's like, but you know what? Nah, I'm going to end it now.
I think that's something a lot of us suffer from. But most of us don't really have the same returns as Michael Addamo. Yuri does flop best here. Flops mid-pair and a gutter ball.
Yeah. So he's got 20 big blinds. Oh, nice turn. Wow, I did not see that coming. Did you,
just didn't see it coming, did you?
Wow. I thought maybe things would have changed after that Queen 6 fold. Like maybe Yuri gets a little run, but no, it seems like he's going to get value bet here by Addamo, turn in river.
I'll probably just bet 2 big blinds here. Why not? Oh, wow.
Nah, how about 5.3 big blinds, Roddy?
He really wants his tournament to end, doesn't he? He's like, you know what? I have the feeling that Roddy does want to do a little poker stream tonight. A couple of the Omaha grinders are eager to take some of his American dollars. So why not help my Omaha boys out and get this show over with?
Oh, Yuri has... Wow, he folds again. I'm surprised he did not call that hand. Like, Yuri's got rewarded with 2 aces against 2 5s. Obviously, this is going to go all the chips in there pre-flop.
No, this is as 50-50 as I've ever seen it, okay? Aces against 5 could be anyone's game because it's hard to beat the set that Michael Addamo is going to flop. So.
All right, here we go. I mean, I don't feel it.
It's 50-50, guys. Aces versus 5s. Aces are at. Okay. No 5 on the river, and Yuri is back to 3.9 million. And that is not a 5. Let's go, Yuri, man. After folding that queen on the river, this is actually very spectacular.
Yeah, it is going to be spectacular. I mean, wow. I can't believe it myself. I feel like it should be over. Even like the
Yeah.
King 9 hand, like he didn't pay off a little bit of chips with that 5-4 was it's a pretty big fold. I know it's just a little pair, but still it's
Yeah.
Yuri's on point.
And there really is a chance now, right? Like, as long as he's hovering around 3.5, 3.6, then I feel like, well, if he gets a double,
100%.
he's at 7 million and Michael Addam's at 12 million. That's honestly nothing crazy. At this point, it still looks a little dire, but
I agree with you. One double up and you've got a lot of big blinds to work with, even though you'd still be behind.
yeah, no, I mean, we've seen a lot of crazy things when it comes to heads up in these past 40 weeks. So wouldn't be the first comeback. I really thought it was going to end with the queen. I was like, how do you fold that? I just don't see how you can fold that. But an absolutely amazing fold by Yuri. Gives him still a tiny chance to potentially win his first high roller super millions.
Yeah, and this spot's it's a spot where I think he's going to pick up 2 straights. Addamo checks the flop. He's probably never folding the turn and river. Yeah, I think Yuri needs to go for a lot. He needs to go 400k and like 800k. It's a pot size bet.
Pot size back. Well, if Michael Addamo calls, it could very well be a queen or a 7 on the river, though. And that would be pretty bad news.
Yeah, he's not folding this queen on this 7 on the turn. I doubt it.
7. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a beautiful run out for Yuri. Man.
He's
Yuri
back.
has
I can't
never-
believe
Yeah.
the queen 6 is fold to this. This is amazing.
Yuri has never had more chips than he will have after this hand. That's actually wow, snap call by Michael Addamo even for 1.2 million with the 7. Yuri chips up all the way to 5.8 million. And just when we thought it was potentially over, I'm gonna sit for it, Nananoka. It's far from over.
Oh, it's very far from over. Yeah, well, Addamo didn't even think about it. Like that's the thing. Like he's gonna be like, I check back this flop. I got my hand looks like what it is. I'm gonna. Oh, here goes 3 bets a king 5 offsuit the next hand. Can Yuri read into this? The Addamo 3 bet after losing a pot. I think it's a thing. I feel like it happened before in one of his heads up matches. Calls.
Wow. And flops middle pair, but the ace is very scary though, right? When Michael Addamo does 3 bet, I feel like the ace is a pretty scary card.
Still scary, but he's not going to fold to a flop bet.
Yeah, especially not to that size. Let's see what the turn brings.
It'll
Man,
be hard
looks-
for Addamo to win this pot because, like, Yuri has a lot of aces in his hand.
Yeah.
Like, just a lot.
But
and
if
he
he
doesn't
bets
expect
big,
him to fold.
if he bets big now, he will get it done though, right? Like if Michael
If he
Addamo
bets
decides
any size, he'll get it done. But like, don't you feel like you're burning chips? Like this guy so often has an ace. Why am I still betting into him?
because Michael Addamo is a legend. So see, I think it's gonna get it done. I don't see how you
Good.
call here if you're Yuri. Like that's impossible, right?
Especially if you've been folding the last hands, right? Like you making some big folds against Addamo. Why would you be calling the 8-9? It would be the right call.
Oh
he makes
my
the
God.
call.
Yuri is what the hell? That is insane. Let's see what Michael Addamo does on the river. Man, that is an insane turn call by Yuri. Can Michael Addamo go full Michael Addamo and just bluff all 3 streets and pre-flop?
I mean, he might, but like it'd be an insane bluff too, right? Because
Yeah,
Yuri
it doesn't
really
make
looks like
sense.
he's got ace 9, ace 10, ace 7. Like, I don't think he's gonna fold those hands. I wouldn't expect it by Michael Addamo.
No, like
I-
it seems like an impossible bluff to make at this. Oh my God, Michael Addamo,
the
you are so sick.
impossible bluff. The impossible bluff happened. Can the impossible call happen, Roddy?
This might be my favorite call in 41 weeks. If Yuri can make this call, he's a legend. Okay, I don't care if he wins tonight or not. If Yuri can make this call, it'd be stunning.
I don't know how he can, Roddy. There's not a flush draw out there.
Oh
Oh
my
my
God!
god, cold.
What a sick hand we just witnessed. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a new chip leader after the man was dead and buried when he flopped or when he rivered trip queens. Nanonoko, what the hell was that? That's insane by both players, but especially by Yuri. That call on the river, hello?
That is ridiculous. The turn was already crazy, Roddy. We were like, and pre-flop was pretty intense too of 8-9 off. Oh my god. I can't believe Yuri's our chip leader right now. Can you believe it? He had 2 million
No.
chips, and he should be out.
Mate, he had 800k chips when we were down to 3. He had 800k.
I might have not have picked a winner, Roddy. I don't
I
think
am speechless. I'm absolutely speechless. Not only did he manage to fold the trip queens on the river in a hand where it feels like normally you just gladly get it all in against Michael Addamo, he just called him down 3 streets in a row with a pair of 8s.
That is a read. Like, I feel like Yuri came to this final table with one game plan. It's just against Michael Addamo. And he's actually had a set out of position to him throughout the whole tournament. And this is not a small pay jump. It's $95,000. That is a big, big pay jump for its heads up.
I truly have nothing to say. I'm stunned, man. I am absolutely stunned by this hand, by that hand. I mean, this hand, they both have king queen, which is pretty funny. We'll see if Michael Addamo can somehow take it down with aggression, but what an insane call.
This hand's actually a little interesting too, because I actually went limp from Yuri, and then Addamo raised any limp calls. Potentially someone could steal this pot away from each other if they want to put in some more bets. Okay, well, this is going to be a Hollywood Haxton time.
Yeah. We've got, wow. Have you ever seen a hand like that? I know you've seen a lot of hands of poker in your life, but that was insane, man.
I think that's definitely, there's only 2 hands I can recall that were this crazy. This one being one of them, and the other one would be the Connor Drinan against the Kazakhstan guy. And it was another hand they were playing, like they called him like 3rd pair or 4th pair or something very similar, where it's like, and obviously that was a huge pay jump too. So those 2 hands really stand out to me as crazy heads up hands and for big, big chip stacks.
Insane.
Get your energy back, Roddy. I need you back for this, okay? This is not
my
going to end
energy
anytime
is
soon.
No. My energy is still there. I'm just going over what I just witnessed. Like the fact that Michael Addamo was willing to do that on the river too, that's obviously super nuts. And I do kind of love it in a way because he was right. Like his opponent did not have the ace, didn't have anything super good. But the fact that Yuri can find a call, like I do like what you said in the beginning of the hand. The Michael Addamo 3-bet, right after losing a big pot, like, we've seen that, I don't mind the call with 9-8. Then obviously the flop bet was pretty small, so you're going to call that. But then the queen is actually kind of scary too, because even if you're right on the flop, Michael Addamo goes all in, thinks he finally got him, but we're just going to chop this one up. But
I think Yuri thought he won the tournament.
Yeah. The turn bet was a lot bigger. And that's where I think it becomes very difficult to call. He makes the call. Michael Addamo goes all in on the river. He takes his time and he calls. Man, Yuri is so good.
Yeah, it's like he probably watched all the super moons of Addamo winning. Maybe like he prepped up for this final table. I mean, like, how did he know that he likes to 3-bet like instantly the hand he loses? I do remember him doing that, Addamo, like in the previous Super Millions, but like, and just calling him down there. And if there was a flush draw out there, I can get behind the call a lot easier because there's a lot more but that was just a pure bluff, and he knew his opponent had a pure bluff.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, even some of the bluffs pre-flop or on the flop could have turned into a better hand. Or even if Michael Addamo had a random 8 that's just a bit better than his 8. Like he had 8-9, like even that was an option.
I know. And Addamo obviously couldn't value bet ace king and ace jack that way on that last hand too, right? It's crazy. And the funniest thing is that, wow, Adam was like pissed off. But
Yeah.
Yuri has made some tight folds in some spot. But I guess he's honed in to Adamo's game plan. He's like knows where he's at, know when his timing's in, know when to let it down, and it's just this is brilliant poker today.
That man has been entering the matrix over the last 25 minutes, that's for sure. Remarkable comeback. Yuri flops bottom pair here. Michael Addamo does have the flush draw. Picks up a pair too. This is where Michael Addamo will bet. The question is how much and will you recall? Oh, he doesn't bet. Bit surprised that he doesn't bet there.
Yeah, I can see it both ways. I guess he thinks that Yuri's obviously when you get hero called down to 8, he's not going to be hero
Yeah.
folding like jacks and kings at some point. So he's just like, you know what? I'll just check.
Yuri will check this one back and receive the Niels, and his pair of jacks is good as he picks up a few more chips. Imagine like you were watching this and then all of a sudden you got called away and you walked away from the computer for a split second and you're like, come back, it's probably over. But you take a look at the VOD and all of a sudden you see Yuri sitting here with 11 million chips and you'll be like, what? Like what just happened?
Like, yeah, he must have got coolered, right? And like, what do you mean he called down on 8, 9 offsuit for a lot of big blinds? It was so many
Yeah.
big blinds.
Like the turn bet was already so difficult. And then you just pray that it goes check, check on the river. It doesn't. Michael Addamo puts him all in and he makes the correct call. What a legend. This hand, though, he could lose a couple chips as he flops a second pair. Michael Addamo has that same second pair, but a much better kicker. I mean, both players pick up a flush draw, but Michael Addamo also has that department covered. It's kind of hard for Yuri to win this hand unless we find a 6 or an 8 on the river that's not a club. Man, imagine if you put a lot of money down on Michael Addamo to win this final table. Sorry, Nano, I think you were a little frozen. I couldn't hear what you said.
Addamo value betting this nines correctly.
Yep. Ooh, this could be bad news for Yuri.
Think,
Because normally a 9 high flush, heads up, you feel pretty good. I don't know if you're still having it, but you're having some connection issues. Yeah, I'll just take it from here, Nano. You try to stabilize, I don't know, the cables over there in Australia. I see you move again, so that's a good sign. Let's see what Michael Addamo does on the river with the stone called nuts, the ace of clubs. We know that he likes to bet big. This is where he's praying that Yuri has a proper club.
I think he's gonna bet. Can you hear me just? Oh my.
Yes, I can hear you now.
You hear me just fine,
he's
Roddy?
gonna-
Because this is an insane 2x over bet shove. Wow.
Yep, I can hear you. You can go ahead.
What do you think?
I think he's folding because he has been making all the correct folds. And yeah, the 9 of clubs is not exactly your dream club, right? If it was the jack, I absolutely think that there's a chance he calls. But the 9, I think he folds. Man, Yuri is playing some amazing poker. He does lose a big pot here, but there's not too much he really could have done about it.
Yeah, it actually seems like Addamo, he's letting his opponent get away with hands that shouldn't be getting away. Like, because he's going for these huge overbets with big hands. And
yeah, but in his defense, though, he does the same with his bluffs, right?
Yeah, I know.
And
but
that's
like,
why he also gets paid off quite often.
Let's just say hypothetically, before that King 5 bluff, he picked off a little value on some of the previous hands. He wouldn't have doubled him up for so many chips. He'd have a lot less. So, you know, there's two sides of the coin.
That King High call on the river all of a sudden feels like a pretty expensive call, right?
That's exponentially gone up, and wow,
that's bad. That's really bad for Michael Addamo. Makes the straight on the river. It's not the best possible straight, but it's still a straight. Yuri has the flush.
Let's see, it's Addamo going for one of his funny bets here.
I hope for him he doesn't get too funny. Yuri will probably raise this, right? Like it's too small
course.
when you have a flush. Make it 1.3.
I think he should make it more. He should target the jack, and I think he's going to make it like 3 million. It's my guess.
Okay, that's very big.
I don't think he thinks a jack would fold to 3 million. Yeah, I'd go pretty big. Okay, 1.5. He's more in the Roddy camp.
Well, I wish I would play half as well as Yuri, mate. I do think that Michael Addamo can let this one go. Because Yuri hasn't really been bluffing him a whole lot. And you can obviously say, oh, it's a good board to bluff. But there's a lot of hands that beat the 7 here. I think we can let it go.
I know we think we can, but Addamo likes to click the call button. So I think he might throw in the call, Roddy. It feels like you're beat here a lot. I hope he can get away, but I don't know.
We've seen Yuri make amazing folds. Michael Addamo will also make this one. I'd say it was a little easier than some of the folds Yuri had to make, but a good fold nevertheless, because it's never easy to fold any sort of a straight in heads up, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yuri has retaken the chip lead. So we're gonna see another flop. This time it's 9-5 of spades against King Jack. It's gonna be very hard for Yuri to win this one. He's gonna need some runner magic, or probably just let it go. I mean, he sees backdoors. I know the deuce and the 4 and the spades, but I think it's okay to just let this one go.
You can't go for backdoors on an ace king 3 board. Like, it's just too often. It hits your opponent's range way more.
Ace 4, making it 2.5. Michael Addamo makes the call. This is an action flop. Addamo flops top pair, has the queen of hearts. Yuri flops the nut flush draw and the open-ended straight draw. Hello, man, what a sick. Yuri, what do you think the percentage is in this hand? I feel like Yuri must be like at least 55%, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. And I think if the right turn or river card rolls off, this tournament could be close to over. That changes things. That's not one of those cards.
Nope. Michael Addamo is still in the lead, but he still needs to avoid every heart, every ace, and every 8, and every 4. Excuse me, every 3. That's so many outs. See what Yuri decides to do here. What do you think you should do here, Nana? Just call?
Probably just call. You don't want to bloat the pot, in my opinion, and get I do still like just calling. Just I feel like Addamo's the type of guy who will repop you on the turn with,
Yeah.
6, and then like you just have some stupid pot for no reason.
Wow, Michael Addamo does make the call. Obviously, he's not going to fold the 7 there. And he survives Nanonoko. He dodged everything. He's going to look at that hand and he's like, wow, I have no idea. We mentioned the Matrix before. Well, Michael Addamo can dodge bullets, baby. He's back to 11 million and has retaken the lead, as Phil would say.
That's right. 6-5 suited against the ace-9 coming up. Let's see. I missed. Okay. Okay. The right flop can end things, Roddy. That's not the right flop. That's actually a tough hand for both players. Very tough.
Yeah, Yuri looks at that and he's like, and I don't love it. Michael Addamo did flop bottom pair, but he really doesn't have anything else going for himself. Technically, I had, but
still gonna call though for a third of pot. His opponent has ace king, king queens a lot.
What does Yuri do now?
Yeah, interesting. Bet half the pot. You got a little straight draw. It's not a good one. If your opponent calls a 5-6 though, it's a lot more hands you can beat out. I think he might fire. I think it'll work. No, never mind.
You've got a serious cast of curse going on tonight, mate. You're like, I think we should check here. Bam, we're raising.
I'm more in touch with the way Michael Addamo plays, and you're more in touch with the way Yuri plays today.
Goes check, check on the turn, which means that Michael Adamo's bottom pair is still good. If Yuri bets now, though, then all of a sudden the line becomes a little bit odd, right?
Yeah, I agree. And I don't think he should, and I don't think he will. I mean, I could be wrong, but like
Because he still beats a couple of king highs as well.
that, and also I wouldn't expect Adamo to fold a jack, obviously, and he might not even fold a 10. Like this, he might have 7, 8, you know, like, or I don't know. It's just seems like a bad move to bet, so that's why he checked.
Well, Michael Addamo has once again taken a serious lead as he has managed to get all the way up to 13.5 million. What is the hand that calls that? Obviously, he won quite a few chips with the ace of clubs against the 9, but what was the other big one that we just had?
I guess it was just that hand just now, because you know, like these pots are a little bit bigger than normal. Or I
the
guess
ace
the
4
queen
hand.
7. Yeah,
The ace 4 hand. Okay.
These pots are like medium pots, but just because they kind of bet a little bit bigger than most other players, they tend to, escalate quite quickly.
I mean, if I'm Yuri, I'm pretty pissed. I really hate it when you just flop the entire world and you're like, wow, literally any card now. And then it's like, oh, literally any card? It's like, all right, let's just spare the board and give an offsuit 10 on the raise. Like, oh, come on.
You always feel like you're running bad when it was just a coin flip on the flop.
Yeah, but that's such a pretty flop, though. You look at that flop and you're just in love with it. Michael Addamo with the Jack 9 suited. That's a proper race. I like it.
5x.
Yeah. What do you make of that? Like, what does that mean when they all of a sudden start throwing in 5 and 4 X's?
It kind of throws your opponent off their game a little bit because they're expecting to be able to limp call a decent amount, but now they might just go straight into a raising strategy again. So it's actually it's tricky.
Michael Addamo is the pre-flop raiser, and he's got the button. Any bet should get it done here. There's nothing really that Yuri can do with his hand.
I was going to say, it's a hard bet to make of just ace-3, because if you look at that board, you got no connection, and it's a lot of connections for another guy.
No, absolutely, but it's always worth firing like 25-30% just to see. Because obviously they are worried about that board too. In a way, it does connect with your range. Michael Addamo is going to make this 1.2 million, mate.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about it right now. Like, he's like, I love re-raising. I got a premium queen jack suited.
I mean, it is kind of a premium in heads up though, right? It's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like an all-in pre-flop type hand, but it's definitely something that can make some good hands. It's just funny how his hand range chart looks different than everyone else's,
I think if you want to watch the Montreal Canadiens play in an hour from now, I think you can just jam those hands and try to get this tournament over with. I don't know if he likes hockey or not, but he might be from Toronto, actually. Maybe he's from Toronto.
No, he's
likes
from
the Maple Leafs.
Australia.
Okay, but he lives in Canada now.
Okay, but he's actually from Australia, though.
Yeah, but if you're but you're a product of your own environment. Okay, if you're surrounded by a whole bunch of Canadians that love hockey, you start loving hockey too.
But Addamo does strike me as a guy who's just going to register the next tournament. All right, so let's see. It's gone check on the flop. He's going for a delayed continuation bet. King 3. Is it worthy of a call? Maybe.
Very hard.
It's a hard call to make. Nice call, but he got rivered.
Yeah. I believe that's when they say that's poker. And everybody goes on tilt.
It's a small pot, so he can't feel too
Yeah,
bad.
but it starts adding up for Yuri though, because all of a sudden he's down to 5.2, which really sucks because he was at 12 million a little while ago, even over 13 million, I believe. Because now if he doubles up, he still has less chips than he had 17 minutes ago or 12 minutes ago. So. The Jack 5 offsuit. An absolute monster. Yuri will let go of his 10 deuce offsuit. All right. Are we still heading in that direction? Man, imagine the roller coaster of sweat that everybody had that bet on Michael Addamo to win this final table. Like at first you're like, oh my God, it's the easiest money I ever made. And then you start flipping your desk already and start destroying your door. You're like, I can't believe he's throwing this. And now you're like, ah, okay, it looks pretty good.
And then the guys on Yuri is like, we're gonna ship it, we're gonna ship it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my god, is this really happening? Why did you give me that hope? But it's
Yeah,
not
no.
over. It's not over.
No, it's not over, but it is starting to look a little dark again. 3-1.
The funny thing is with Michael Addamo, the other guy always has a chance because he can always just blow up and give you a bunch of chips, or he just ends it very quickly.
Yeah. Well, he gets kings. 8-5 will limp. Michael Addamo has thrown in a couple of very big raises. Let's see if he capitalizes on that or if it's just going to be, yeah, okay, that's a very big one. Yuri will let go of the 8-5. Would have been a stylish way to win the heads up, right? Always feels good when you win a tournament.
Yeah, Adamo seems like that guy. He does not care which cards he's holding at the end with the final table picture winning, the winner's photo. You know, he's
I
like,
care. Yeah, I care.
you care, but Adamo does not care. He tries to win it with the worst cards, maybe.
I've got a trophy here and it has King 7 offsuit and I hate it, man. Like, I'm like, the first tournament I won with Jack 10 suited, but I didn't get a trophy for that one. It makes me really sad. This is a great flop for Yuri. It's pretty much impossible for him to lose his hand.
I wonder if there's a chance Adamo's time bank drains to 0 and then he has to play with that super fast shot clock. He's done it before, though. I'm pretty sure in one of our heads up matches. But it does change his hands a reasonable amount.
I don't know, man. I'd pay good money for a heads up between Michael Addamo and Romashka. No shot clock. They both start with 5 seconds and that's it. Put that on pay-per-view. That'll sell some tickets.
Wow. Nice. Look at Addamo try to steal it with 3 deuce on the river. Snap called.
Like, well, I'm playing the board. It's a little bit awkward, but the Ducks just limping. All right, 3 deuce. Well, there is the deuce. A 4 would be a spicy turn card.
And it's actually one of those flops where I think Yuri was going to give a little bit of action. Still got to draw to the clean straight.
Yeah, I think you'd call here, right?
I think so. Oh, he folds. Okay.
Because even an 8 would make me feel quite all right. Like, sure, a couple of straights to get there, but then you do have top pair. Yuri lets it go, wants to preserve the stack and the chips that he currently has.
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting fold. Because, yeah, like you said, I think the 8 would be a clean out, and then, obviously the straight too. I guess he seems to have perfect timing, and timing it is. He said 2 pair against top pair. Nice.
Addamo can obviously still win this hand if he finds a queen 6 or a deuce.
Yeah, but it looks like Adamo's going to lose another like 1.5 billion, right? He's going to overbet this river for sure. Whatever card it comes. Yep, bye-bye chips.
Let's see how big he goes.
I don't think he likes the spade, but he's still going to go for some big value. 800K?
Yeah, I think that's a bit smaller actually. Yuri decides to just call, doesn't want to raise. He's got 2 pair, but obviously there's a lot of hands that beat him here. So Yuri does crawl his way back to 5.6 million. We might make it to the second break, Nanonoko. 13 minutes. What do you think?
I think there's a good chance we do. I think it's not what I expected. I expected the tournament to be over the tournament should have been over within 10 minutes of coming back from the break, right? Yeah. Like the Queen 6 hand.
Queen on the river. Like I don't get how you get away from that. It's so sick. Very well.
And then you call down with the third pair, 8-9, the hands later. It's just crazy timing.
Yuri definitely left a remarkable impression on us tonight. It's like not one of these guys that it's like, all right, you took second place, but we're not going to talk about it for a while. Like, no, this is, if he takes second place, it's something we'll talk about for a while. If he wins tonight, it would honestly be one of the most impressive victories we have seen in these 41 weeks of the High Roller Super Millions.
we've seen some guys reach our final tables many times, but we kind of forget how they play. I feel
Mm.
like this is the one where we're finally going to remember Yuri for sure on how he played. Because I always thought he was a great player, but like, I don't really remember what happened in his previous final tables. But this one is the one I definitely will remember.
Addamo firing here on the river with the 9 high. Takes it down, ace king and 7-9. You know what is most memorable for me is that Yuri started this table with 1.2 million chips, the final table that is. He came in a 6th position. Then he made top 3 while losing 400k chips. Like, I have not seen that yet, Nana. He went from 1.2 to 800k, but somehow made it into the top 3 of the tournament. And then he actually made it to heads up, and at one point was the chip leader.
And his odds to win are actually quite big. It's plus
Yeah.
1620, it says. So
Yeah, 17 to 1.
You
Basically.
get a lot of money back if he wins this tournament.
Yep. If you want to put 10 bucks on him, you get $172 back. If I saw it correctly, I think it's 17.2. It's pretty good. I mean, it came out of nowhere. Well, we will see who's going to take this down. Michael Addamo now has 1 minute left on his shot clock. So at that point, it becomes maybe a bit more tricky for him. We definitely have seen people make mistakes, right? Because they ran out of time.
Oh, for sure. But I feel like Addamo will still have a pretty aggressive game no matter what. Okay, here we go. Ace, king, 2 nines. We know these are going to go in, Roddy. Well, who's going to win it? I don't know that one.
I think Michael Addamo, but that seems like the safe bet, betting on how everything has gone tonight. Addamo raises it up. Yuri, will he just jam at this point? I mean, it's a pretty big jam, though.
I'd probably limp re-raise and make it like 1.5 million, but still, it goes in. Here we go.
Here we go. Nines versus ace king. Can Michael Addamo become the first 4-time champ? He needs to find an ace or a king. Needs to find an ace or a king, or Yuri is completely back in this heads-up match. And that's not an ace or a king. A full double for Yuri. 9.6 million against 10.5 million. Nanonoko, we ain't going anywhere. This is not a short night at all.
No, I thought it was going to be the quickest ever, but no, it's Michael Addamo cannot get rid of Yuri. Just cannot.
And this is actually a proper sweat for the final table betters tonight. Because like, at first it's a lock and you think your bet is dead if you bet on Yuri. Then you feel it's alive. Then you feel like he's going to win. Then it seems like it's dead again. And now he's completely back.
I think Addamo's got to be getting a little tilted, right? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. He's got to be annoyed, like really annoyed.
Yep. Because it feels like it just should have been your tournament. And he probably had the stream open too. So he probably saw that Yuri folded trip queens when he had the 3-5 straight, the wheel. Like, that would absolutely drive me nuts. Like, how do you fold that? Like, just get it over with. Jeez.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if Addamo, because at this point the heads-up match has been going on for a while, that they would have some reads on the other guy based on the stream. So I'm curious to see if they make some adjustments at all.
I think Michael Addamo will just keep doing what he does. He's not gonna win this hand. You're really wondering if he should bluff or not, but or this is the thinnest value ever. Wow, he gets paid off. He gets paid off by the deuce. Well done, Yuri. That's insane. Did he just value bet like 3rd or 4th pair?
Nice play.
Yeah.
I think Yuri is really playing his opponent really well. He has a game. It's very clear the game plan, but this is a terrible timing. It usually will work though, Roddy. It usually would.
Addamo just gonna all in or make it like 3 million?
He'll probably make it like 3 million. I think he thinks his hand is not ship worthy. Oh, okay, never mind. I just gotta remember that Addamo has when you think of a raise size, he thinks of it times 5.
And which in this case just meant all in. Look at Yuri raising up the 8 deuce suited. Michael Addamo has trash, but it has never stopped him before. Makes the call, and the 8 actually flops the open ender. Michael Addamo flops 2nd pair. I have the feeling we're gonna watch a big pot. And if you joined later, you're like, how did we get a big pot with 8 deuce against 9-5 offsuit?
Yeah.
You gotta call here. No. Why is there 1.7 million in the middle?
Could be more. Yuri, I think he should be betting again with the 8 deuce. Maybe even firing river too. Like his opponent has a lot of pair.
Wow.
Over
Overbet, and he gets Michael Addamo to fold second pair. Well done by Yuri. No. Tonight has been a roller coaster for all of us.
It's a good final table hand for sure. Like very, very fun.
We've barely even spoke about pocket fours tonight. That's when you know it's been an action-packed final table.
I think we've only seen one pocket fours for Haxton,
Yeah.
if I recall correctly.
And they took it down pre-flop. Obviously would have made a set, but
Obviously. 10-8 offsuit. Is he gonna make a move here? He doesn't have anything. Check raising. He's got nothing.
buckle up and enjoy the ride. It's Michael Addamo time. They're both getting like some good punches in on one another, man. Like if this was a fight, it just feels like they're both getting a lot of clean shots off. Because Yuri just made a couple sick plays on Michael Addamo, but he makes them right back at him. Neither of them really has anything most of the time now. Like it started off with them being like kind of tight and flopping big hands or just having setup scenarios. And now we are just winning pots with garbage. So maybe you're right. Maybe they have been watching the stream. And maybe they both feel
I mean, they for sure have been watching the stream. I'd be surprised if they haven't.
Yeah, but maybe they did make a little adjustment. Yuri obviously does have a king here, and a king on a double paired or a flop with two aces feels pretty damn good.
I think the king should value bet this one. Seems like a slam dunk. Like, there's no way you're behind.
I agree. Michael Addamo has absolutely nothing.
Let's call him Jack high.
Yeah.
Jack deuce high. It'd be a brilliant call, Addamo. Like, you've done these calls every single time. You've been wrong. Like 100%.
Oh my God.
He's like out leveling himself really hard or something,
Yeah.
Roddy.
Yeah, this one feels a little excessive. 9-8 suited versus ace king suited though. I'm gonna 3-bet it again.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe Addamo has this thing where he tries to make sure people know he can't be bluffed. You know, he pays off some bets in there. He's playing the long game, right? Like he's like thinking about future tournaments. Let's see this one. Oh my God, this is a tournament defining hand, 100%. They both have a hand that can get it all in, or Addamo blasts it off by the river, or he gets there. Like, this is it, Roddy.
Yep, with 2.8 million in the middle already, Addamo fires a little short of $1 million. Obviously, with a pair of nines and a flush draw, we're gonna at least call here for Yuri. But is he thinking about raising?
If he raises, this tournament will be defined by this hand. If he doesn't, well, there are some runouts that will save Yuri. Or maybe he's going to raise. Here we go. Are you excited, Roddy? This is a huge pot coming up. This has to be a jam by the ace-king suited, especially out of position.
This could indeed very well be it. Addamo at this point is a bit behind. The 10 of spades is a safe one for Yuri. But it does give even more odds to Michael Addamo because now every queen is good too. So he needs an ace, king, queen, or a club to win, well, a monster pot and maybe the tournament.
To see if Yuri takes the free card. Unless he thinks he can get a better hand to fold. It's hard.
He's got an open-ended too, right?
Yeah. Wow,
all in.
It in.
I think you have to call though, right? I don't know actually. I don't know.
It's a tough spot, actually. Not the way the hand played out.
Look at the clock, by the way, mate.
Yeah.
Look at the clock.
It does feel like he's always. Oh, he does call. Oh my God.
All right, ace, king, queen, or a club, and this tournament is for Michael Addamo. If he doesn't find those cards, he does not. God. It's Yuri who wins a pot of 18 million chips. And Yuri is just doing the impossible here, Nanonoko. I feel like he came back from the dead 3 times, and he now has a hammerlock on this tourney. This is insane.
He's literally flipped it around. Addamo's the one with 2 million chips, Roddy. Literally. I can't believe it.
Wow.
It all started with the Queen 6 offsuit. Folding.
It should have been over there. And then the calls with the 8-9.
Of many hands. This is one hell of a heads-up match. I can't believe Addamo. I thought I picked the winner. Apparently I did not, Roddy. Apparently.
I went full Nanonoko. I already congratulated the man. When that queen rolled off on the river, I was like, this is it. This has to be it. No, it ain't over till it's over. Something, chip in a chair and a dream. Well, we are witnessing it unfold live. Michael Addamo does have a set there, but he's going up against 7 deuce Nano. So
we get to see it. We actually get to see a set before this stream ends.
7-4 deuce. That's what Michael Addamo deserves.
A set of 4s.
I mean, I'm not surprised. Why are you surprised?
It's the perfect. We needed to throw that in there before the stream ends. It makes sense, Roddy. Wow.
Thanks to Yuri, by the way, for having 7 deuce there and checking, so we can confirm that pocket 4s indeed always make a set. Unfortunately for Michael Addamo, he didn't get anything out of it.
What are you thinking if you're Michael Addamo right now? You're like, I can't believe that this luck box has got 17 million chips, or what do you?
I mean, that's often how it goes, though, right? Like your sun running until you're not. And then all of a sudden it feels like you just cannot get rid of this guy. Those were the words you used, and I think that's the best way to put it. As you guys can see at home, we did make it to our second break, so we're going to take 4 minutes, and after that we'll be back and we'll see if Michael Addamo can do the impossible, and that is turn things around from 3 million. What a night of poker this has been. This is the High Roller Super Millions. It happens every single week on the Tuesday evening, and as you guys can see, it's pretty damn fun. See you soon.
Hello everybody, Daniel Negreanu here with some good news from the GGPoker Network. We've been preparing a promotion for the new year called GG Care. As any poker player might know, sometimes you find yourself in what we call unfortunate situations, some ugly bad beats, right? Well, that's where GG Care comes in. GG Care will take care of you with huge prize pools available every day. Let's see how you can get your GG Care benefits. Aces versus kings. Yep, all in before the flop. I mean, nobody's going to fold that, right? That's just a setup. It's a cooler. I can't imagine being, at the final table of the World Series of Poker heads up and this happening to me. It's just brutal. Bad beats should never be a thing, but they are. Thanks, GG. I flopped the top set. Very nice. Some fucking idiot chases a runner straight to suck out on me. Unbelievable. But in my darkest moment, GG Care was there. Thanks, GG. Flop the second nut set, the middle set on the flop. It's an impossible cooler. How can you be beat there? The guy has top set. Nobody's folding that. Sometimes it just feels unfair. Thanks, GG. As you can see, in the most unfortunate of situations, GG Care will appear for you. Are you curious how to get these benefits? Don't worry, you don't even have to lift a finger. First, simply enjoy the game as usual. Whenever something unfortunate happens, GG Care will be there. Secondly, when confronted with such circumstances, GG Care automatically will register you into a flip-out tournament with a huge prize. Just check the pop-up window. Thirdly, take a rest, have yourself a nap, get yourself a good night's sleep, clear your mind of all the bad beats, and when you wake up, the daily GG Care prizes will be waiting for you. That's all there is to GG Care. Pretty simple, isn't it? Just play the game as normal and GG Care will take care of you. And the prize money will only grow more and more in the future, so keep your eyes posted and good luck everybody. I hope you don't have too many bad beats, but if you do, GG Care will be there. Thanks, GG.
Melky was waiting to come back to the final table.
Radar hold stings. Oh my god.
Michael Addamo is the best.
Welcome back, everyone, to the third hour of the High Roller Super Millions Week 41, where we had a crazy first hour and a pretty damn crazy second hour too, Nanako, because this heads up has absolutely delivered.
One of the most exciting final tables for us, for sure, right? Like it's been super fun. It's all about Michael Addamo and his big crazy sun run and his I don't know what happened to how he lost. He just kind of bluffed him off a lot of times. That big hand. He did a bit of everything. A bit of everything.
I don't hate that call on the turn. Like any ace, king, any queen, any club. Like you just feel that you've got too much equity there to fold. I don't hate it. He can win a couple chippies back here though, as he flopped top pair with his jack 9. That's what he's going for. Let's see what Yuri does with king 10 offsuit. Doesn't have a lot going for himself, but it's still king 10 on a pretty silly board.
You know, Yuri hasn't really given away spots to Addamo, I feel like. So now's not the time to start, right? Like,
yeah, but I don't hate this call. Like, yeah, okay, it's a bit of a donation, but jack 5 deuce. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Now we can fold though, because you don't want to let it get out of hand. I don't hate it on the flop. It's maybe not the greatest play, but I can get behind it. You want to get him out of here, Nanako?
I don't know if it's gonna happen. I don't feel like Addamo's gonna be able to make this comeback, Roddy. It's possible, but it'll be so crazy to go from 17 million to 2 million to flip flop again. Because that is a huge difference in chip stack, right? Like,
whoa. Queen 10, pocket jacks.
Yeah, so we know that Jax is going to 3-bet. I wonder what Queen 10 does. I feel like he's going to see a flop, huh? And whether it's a 10 or a queen, some chips are moving.
Yep, I think that's what it's going to be. I think we're calling here. And if a 10 is the highest card on the board, goodbye, Michael Addamo. Instead, he flops nothing.
Yeah, not in the back door. I mean, backdoor straight draw, but not in the club.
That's an action killer flop if I've ever seen one.
I bet like 550 if I was Yuri. Bet's quite small.
Yeah. Wow, he checks. Setting up the trap. Tricky.
I mean, he's taking this.
Oh, no.
It's over.
No.
It actually paid off, Rowdy, because he let Addamo hit the 10.
That's a genius check, indeed.
Crazy. I can't believe it's over. No, I know you feel it too. I know you feel like there's no way Addamo's going to hit this 10 or queen on the river. Doesn't seem that way.
No. That'd be a little too crazy. Michael Addamo bets 1 million. This is obviously Yuri's opportunity to just get it all in.
Mm-hmm.
And then Michael Addamo will most likely call.
He will snap call.
Yep. Here we go, guys. Michael Addamo needs a queen or a 10 on the river, or this crazy edition of the High Roller Super Millions is over. It is paint, but it's a king. And that is going to do it. Yuri ends up winning week 41. Michael Addamo will stick to his 3 titles, but he will add a 2nd place to his resume. Holy smokes, Netanoko. What a crazy edition of the High Roller Super Millions.
Oh, seriously, one of the craziest. I mean, like, look, we gave Addamo the trophy. We gave him the extra $95,000, and it was like Steve Harvey. He was just kind of like, you know, you didn't actually win. Sorry, you didn't win. We're gonna take the trophy away. We're gonna take the $95,000, and we're gonna give it to the rightful owner, which is Yuri from Brazil. Crazy performance. Oh my God, Roddy. I don't even know where to begin. Maybe you roll it off.
I mean, I thought folding the trip queens on the river was insane. Like, I don't know how you do that, but that was absolutely fantastic. But that wasn't even as good as the call he made with the 8-9 offsuit. Like, that is one of the craziest hands of poker I've ever seen. Heads up of a 10K tournament. Called him down. Well, he called pre-flop. He called on the flop. The flop bet is like, yeah, okay, you know, we can get behind that because it's a pretty big pot and the bet wasn't that big, but the turn bet was a lot bigger. And it was also the queen, I believe, that rolled off on the turn. And that's also a very scary card if you ask me, because even if he didn't have the ace, there's a good chance he does have the queen. But he makes the call again, and then we're like, oh, this is bad for Michael Addamo. I mean, sure, if he fires, he will take it down, but he will probably not be able to do this because it feels like his opponent has an ace. He does make the quote-unquote correct all-in, and we're like, oh, that's so sick. But not as sick as the call that Yuri made there. Like, that's actually one of my favorite hands I've ever witnessed, Nano. And I've watched poker for a long time. Obviously, have not played as many hands as you or any of these guys, but I've been watching poker for a very long time. One of the craziest hands that I've ever seen.
That was a hand. That was definitely the key hand. Those two hands you just mentioned. Obviously, the Queen Six fold got him to continue the tournament because Addamo was holding the nut straight there in that spot. But to talk about that 9-8 call, it's just insane. Like, there was no obvious flush draw. Addamo obviously can value bet a lot of hands, like Ace King, Ace Jack, Ace 10, good sets, two pairs. Like, there's so many hands he can value bet there. And it's just a crazy call. 8-9, like, he even blocks a couple of those little straight draw bluffs, like the Jack 9, the 10-9, but it doesn't matter because I guess if Addamo has King 5 off, so he can have anything. Amazing. That's a crazy heads up match. It was so swingy. It did feel like Yuri won the important spots when they counted, but like he played it really good. He came into his final table with a game plan for Michael Addamo. He executed it perfectly. He seemed to always know where his opponent was at. He knew where he was at when he made those big overbet value bets. In this spot, in this heads up match, I felt like Addamo kind of gave some chips away to Yuri that he didn't need to, and that's why he ended up losing it. Maybe he didn't need to make this unnecessary King 5 offsuit bluff, but it would have worked too. But I'm just saying. Yeah. But there's also other spots, you know. There's spots when he had the nut flush on a 4 flush, and he went 2x pot over bet and got Yuri to fold the 9 high flush when he could have got a million chips easily. There's many of those spots actually happened today. So you know, I wouldn't say that Yuri. I mean, I wouldn't say that Addamo got unlucky. I feel like he kind of made some, I don't want to say they're mistakes, but he could have approached it maybe a little bit differently in his heads up. I felt like he had a game plan, but he didn't. It was a game plan, his overall heads up game plan. But Yuri actually made adjustments to his opponent specifically. But before, you know, obviously the heads up match was great. But I want to talk a little bit about before heads up, don't you? I mean, that was crazy. It all started with Thomas Muhlacher, right? Like
No. It started with Alexia Bexai. Yeah, Boyka, sorry.
The ace 4 suited into the 2-8s. Obviously, that was a lot of big blind 27. Eventually, we got to the Thomas Muhlacher 2 queens into 2 aces. I always talk about how Addamo was running so hot. And then this guy spikes a queen, and he rivers the ace for, that was the biggest pot. That was number 1 and number 2 in chips. 4 million in the middle was at least 50 big blinds. And then, you know, obviously Addamo did that 7-4 suited naughty to Dr. Mikey against the King Jack. But it was like the craziest sun run ever, and it continued into heads up. But after that Queen 6 fold, something happened, and we don't have him as a winner. We don't have our first 4-time champ when it really feels like it should have been.
Yeah, let's not forget that João Vieira had aces against King Jack of Michael Addamo. Michael Addamo flopped top 2 pair. That was also quite a memorable hand. But Yeah, what's even crazier, I've said this twice already, but the man started, Yuri, he started this final table with 1.2 million chips. He came in 6th place. At one point, there are 3 players left, and he went down to 800k, and it wasn't that he just lost all his chips. No, he gradually grinded down from 1.2 to 8 million chips, but made top 3 in the tournament, which is already a good result, I think, when you come in 6th place. And somehow, like, he outlasts Isaac Haxton. I think Isaac Haxton had like a Jack 10 against Queen 10 or something, right? Or Queen Jack, whatever it was. It wasn't a good scenario. So then we get to heads up, and he turns it around, then he starts losing a lot of chips again, and it still feels like it's going Michael Addamo's way. Then he turns it around again, bit by bit. Obviously, biggest hand was the ace-queen against the 8-9. I don't really hate that call on the turn. Like, sure, if you want to be very conservative, you can say, like, you don't have anything yet. But I don't know, man. I'd feel pretty good there with ace-king of clubs. You know, like any ace, any king, any queen. Definitely any queen and any club would give him the stone cold nuts, but there's a good chance the ace or king is good too. So I didn't hate that call. It's just one of those it is what it is moments. Just, what an addition, Nano. What an addition.
It was crazy. I guess the last thing I'm going to say, Roddy, is you were right in the beginning that I'm going to curse Michael Addamo and he's not going to ship it. You were just wrong in picking the person who would eventually win the tournament, because you put money on Isaac Haxton, Connor Drinan, and Thomas Mühlacker, but you should have went with the Brazilians. They're always a safe bet.
Yep, the Brazilian with the Russian name, or at least Polish name. I don't know, Eastern European last name. Yeah, I didn't see that coming, but I don't think many people did. At one point, for the first time, I feel like in 41 weeks, I went full Nanonoko, guys. I already congratulated Michael Addamo on winning his 4th title. I've done it, you know. It took me 40 weeks to fall for one of your traps, but this time I was on board. When that queen rolled up on the river, I was like, that's it, wrap it up. I mean, no one gets away from this, especially not against Michael Addamo. Like against some other players, maybe they can find a fault. Trip queens there, it's normally so good. And the fact that he folds there, but then makes that call on all 3 streets with 8-9, I don't understand it. Like, how do you explain that?
I can't explain it, Roddy. It was just, it's an amazing tournament. Let's just get Addamo back here. It was a while since he's done such a crazy performance, but it was definitely, he delivered, he just didn't finish it off.
Congrats to Yuri, of course, for making his first place finish here, adding a high roller Super Millions title to his resume, and he bloody deserved it. An absolutely amazing performance by him tonight. And that is going to be it for all of us. Obviously, the Omaha series are still going strong. Every single day, there's a whole bunch of Omaha tournaments running where it's pot limit before the flop, but it's no limit after the flop. So those hands get pretty crazy, because we all know how the great game of PLO goes. You know, every now and then you have a couple draws and you just get it all in. You don't even have to bet pot anymore, Nanonoko. You can just go ahead and bet 70 big blinds into those 22 big blind pots with your combo draws. Gets a little wild there, guys, but it's a lot of fun. And that's kind of all I have. I don't know if you have any closing words for this week's edition. No?
See ya.
See ya. All right, we're going to end it on that note. Congrats to Yuri. Honestly, a very, very impressive performance by him. And obviously, we hope all of you guys enjoyed watching the show. Make sure to go ahead and like the video. Subscribe, of course, to the YouTube channel, where we have a lot of cool content heading your way. And we'll be back, same time, same place, next week, every Tuesday evening, 7 p.m. Central European time. See you guys.
Elke was waiting to come back to the final table.
Fedor holds things. Oh my God.
Michael Addamo is the best.